Redskins, the Bears without Brian Urlacher, have some maneuvering to do at the linebacker position. With more on that, let's go to Lou Canellis.
All right, thanks very much, Sam. As you said, Urlacher is not in the house, still rehabbing his knee, but no Urlacher has mean other linebackers have the opportunity now to step up. Lance Briggs, the leader, 7-time Pro Bowler. Nick Roach, much different player today than he was back in 2009 when he filled in for Urlacher. He's more vocal inside the huddle. Great pickup. You guys talked about him. Gino Hayes at strong side linebacker. And just a couple of hours ago, Lovie Smith talked about Blake Costanza, a guy that this franchise picked up for his special teams play, but played so well last week against Denver at linebacker and during the week at training camp. He's going to get some time tonight at middle linebacker. So no Urlacher, but it's given other guys the chance to shine. Beautiful night. The field is in absolute terrific condition. Back upstairs to you guys.
Thanks, Lou. We'll be hearing from Lou throughout the game with interviews along the sideline. The Bears will be kicking off. Robbie Gould, the veteran place kicker. We are with replacement officials again. It's getting close to that time where we may see the replacement officials during the regular season.
They got to get used to the speed like everybody else, Sam. There's no doubt about it, but good special teams group going at it right now down on the field.
Robbie Gould kicks it off. Brandon Banks on the return from 2 yards deep. Banks with good speed gets across the 20, up close to the 25-yard return. And there is the number 2 draft pick in the NFL this season, Robert Griffin III, known as RG3 out of Baylor, had a great collegiate career. Very athletic quarterback.
There's no doubt about it. And a good fit in Mike Shanahan's scheme. Good zone blocking scheme. We know when they run the football and then take advantage of his running ability out on the perimeter against the defense in RG3.
Julius Peppers lines up on the left side. Alfred Morris, a rookie out of Florida Atlantic, is the running back. And he carries. Bounces off one man, slips another tackle, and you know the coaches are going to be upset with this. Bad tackling last week, and it starts off with some poor tackling here. On defense for the Bears, Julius Peppers, Israel Adonijah at the ends, Matt Tawina starting for the injured Stephen Playa. The linebackers, as we mentioned, Gino Hayes gets the start, and Nick Roach moves into the middle. The secondary, Chris Conte has had a good preseason thus far. Ball up to the 45-yard line, a gain of 21 for Alfred Morris, who had a good game against Buffalo last week. Chris Cooley shifts to the backfield. And it's Morris behind Cooley, cutting it back. Gets across midfield, gets 6 on the play. Israel Adonijah on the tackle.
And this is going to be pretty interesting right now because we see Gino Hayes, who's starting at a strong side backer 2 times. What do the Redskins do? They attack Gino Hayes. He's 6'1", 225. That's normally an undersize for a strong side backer. We'll see how he holds up against this zone blocking scheme.
2nd and 4, the head coach Lovie Smith happy with the work done down in Bourbonnais. Camp is broken, and now he wants the good work to translate onto the field. Griffin being pressured by Melton, flag on the play. Being chased, he's in serious trouble, and he throws it away. Well done, good pressure by the Bears all over the field. It started with Henry Melton in the middle.
Yeah, Henry Melton, they continue to they want to get the best front four with the pressure, and I think we're going to see
holding, offense, number 73, 10-yard penalty, repeat the down.
And it's not always about sacks. So you mentioned it, Sam. It's about putting pressures on the quarterback, and that's what Rod Marinelli wants to see tonight. Get that front four. Henry Melton, who came on strong last year with a breakout year with 7 sacks. This is the type of effort that was missing a week ago.
We'll see the first-round draft pick, Shea McClellan, a lot during the course of the evening because he played very well against Denver last week.
Absolutely, especially on third downs, as you mentioned. They're calling it, I call it a NASCAR package, where you basically get 4 defensive ends on the field at the same time. Izzy Adonijay kicks down to defensive tackle. You look at Shea McClellan and Julius Peppers on the outside with Henry Melton over the nose.
They walked off 17 yards on the holding call. Here's Griffin running and chased out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Adonijay chased him out, gained a loss of 2 on the play. Once again, well done by the Bears.
Absolutely. Well, look at the defensive ends. That's what it is. It's about contain. Shea McClellan, he gets pulled inside, but look at the hustle by Izzy Adonijay. And that's where our G3 can kill you. Good hustle by Izzy, putting him out of bounds.
And McClellan getting some action with the first team defense. He stays in the game as Adonijay is moved down to a tackle spot. Evan Royster is in at running back for the Redskins on 3rd and 23. Draw play to Royster. And he's brought down at the 45-yard line. Gain of 13, but the Redskins forced to punt.
And you look at Shea McClellan, this is 2 plays in a row that he hustles to the football, and this was what Rod Marinelli was talking about, hustle. He drops in coverage right there, reading the quarterback's eyes. That's what you do in a Tampa 2. Down the field, that's a defensive end making the tackle 20 yards down the field.
Interesting seeing him drop back in coverage. Devin Hester is deep to receive the punt of Sav Rocca, and Hester waves for a fair catch. Certainly disappoints the fans. They love every time he touches the football. 37-yard punt. Jay Cutler is coming out on the field for the first preseason action, and his first action in quite some time. Evening on the lake. Beautiful evening in Soldier Field for football. Jay Cutler was injured November the 20th against San Diego. He was 7-3. when he went down, and then the Bears' season fell apart. His first action since then. At the 18-yard line, Cutler gets time, puts it up deep for Brandon Marshall. He's got it! That's what they talked about. That magical combination that worked so well in Denver. 41-yard gain.
I'll tell you what, this is what Jay Cutler and what they were talking about. Be explosive. Get down the field. Beats the defensive back off the line of scrimmage. That's just a straight go route, Sam. And Jay Cutler threads the needle, hits him in stride on the outside.
He beat Cedric Griffin on the play. Marshall has been a happy man in training camp, reunited with Jay Cutler. They had a couple of great seasons together in Denver. Quick outside to Devin Hester. Hester presents some problems for defense now in a different kind of role for him.
Definitely if you get him in space, even like a hitch route right there, off coverage, and then he can beat a man in space and reverses. You look at the speed to the outside right there. And Lovie Smith has said this guy has been a #1 wide receiver through camp. Off coverage, good hitch route, and uses his hands to catch the ball. Nice job by Hester.
Gain of 4 on the play, 2nd and 6. Kellen Davis shifts to tight end. Kyle Adams, a tight end, lined up in the backfield. Cutler gets time, throws too high. Looking for Earl Bennett down the field.
And you look at right there, I think the key to that one is the protection up front. You see him trade the tight end that you talked about, Sam. Look at Forte, who is their best blocking back. Nice pocket for Jay Cutler. And look at the receiver, trying to work the middle of the field. And he had double coverage, and Jay was just trying to put it high, the only spot that Earl Bennett would have a shot at it. Good protection right now for the Bears early.
3rd and 6. Forte splits out. Empty backfield for Jay Cutler. Cutler has a man open. That's Brandon Marshall. He stayed in bounds. Tiptoed to the sideline, stayed in, and gets inside the 20 for a pickup of 20 on the play.
It's just a simple stop route on the outside by Brandon Marshall. Look at him on Josh Wilson, who comes in. He gets tricked. He thinks Jay Cutler's going to hit the middle of the field, but Brandon Marshall just hit the hit the stop route on it. Said that's good timing, and again, good protection on a third and medium call, going to their number one target. Boys, Jay Cutler excited. He's a part of the Bears.
And how about the agility of Marshall to stay in bounds, stop. The defender went flying past him and picked up another 6 or 7 yards. Alshon Jeffrey, the Bears' second-round draft pick, is in wide receiver. Off the fake, looking for Jeffrey, and he's down to the 1 yard line. Alshon Jeffrey has done everything the coaches have wanted in preseason. He has been terrific.
And I think you just see him getting better. Again, look at the play action, sucks the linebackers up, and then he just nails the skinny post to Alshon Jeffrey. Look at the play flake. That's going to help the Bears tremendously. It's just their play action pass alone.
Bears come out throwing the football. They're in the Sports Authority red zone down at the 1 yard line. And it's Michael Bush for the touchdown.
Impressive drive, Sam. That is an impressive drive. And that's why you got Michael Bush from the Raiders. Great short yardage goal line running back. Look at the blocking up front again. Look at it, point of attack. Look at Spade. Seals it off. The tight end. Klutz cleans it up. The fullback. This is what Mike Tice, the offensive coordinator, wanted to see. The intensity and the physicality up front. They're showing it tonight for the Bears.
This is exactly what the coaches envisioned when they put this offense together. That's an 82-yard drive led by the great passing of Jay Cutler. And, of course, that combination of Cutler and Marshall. Extra point is good. Michael Bush, he'll be the man in the red zone to carry the load on short yardage situations. Tyler Klutz, the fullback, leads the way. Bush takes it into the end zone, capping off a beautiful 82-yard drive. Oh, you gotta love it if you're a Bears fan. Forward scoring drive, and Jay Cutler was sharp, but the protection scheme was excellent.
Yeah, well, Sam, one, it's got to feel good to get back in there. Your opening drive, you go down and score a touchdown. But you mentioned, it's a different defense. This is a 3-4 defense, nicely blocked up front by Mike Tice. This group is ready, and they're definitely more physical. But the blocking schemes, they're pretty much fanning or ripping and lizzing. What that is, either slide right or slide left with a rip liz, and then if you fan it, you're just moving your big offensive left tackle and left guard out to the defensive end and linebacker. Good job by the O.
Robbie Gould to kick it off. Brandon Banks, number 16, deep for the Redskins. A deep kick goes through the end zone. A touchback with leg by Robbie Gould. And the Redskins will start from the 20-yard line. Good start to the game for the Bears. The defense was solid on the first series, got help from a penalty, and then the offense shined on the long drive. Call Star NFL, that's star 635 to get NFL Mobile from Verizon, the official wireless provider of the Chicago Bears. Airtime, message, and data rates may apply. Redskins from the 20. Matt Towina is back at defensive tackle, along with Henry Melton. Peppers and Adonijay the ends. Griffin rolling. Looking downfield, nobody open. Once again, good containment. Tim Jennings, the cornerback, comes up and forced Griffin out of bounds, a gain of 4 on the play.
And Rod Marinelli preached all week for the defensive end. It's angles. Again, you see Izzy Adonijay playing the bootleg naked off of the fake of the inside zone run. He's got that straight angle to the sideline. Runs Robert Griffin III out of bounds again. Good hustle.
A look at Tim Jennings, who's done a good job as the starting cornerback. 2 tight ends in for the Redskins. Griffin looks like an audible at the line. And it's Alfred Morris getting a couple of yards before he's hauled back. Henry Melton on the stop. Melton, who was known as a pass rusher when he first got to the Bears, has really rounded out his game. He's doing a nice job inside.
I'll tell you what, and Rod Marinelli, again, how you beat an inside or a zone blocking team offensively is you've got to get upfield. You can't run sideways. If they get you on roller skates, it's over. You have to penetrate. That time Henry Melton did it.
Evan Royster, number 35, second-year man out of Penn State, is in at running back. 3 wide receivers. 3rd and 3. Pressure on Griffin, but a good pass is grabbed by Hankerson. And Chris Conti, the safety, with a tackle, 16-yard pickup. Leonard Hankerson, second-year man from Miami, with the grab.
Now it's a bunch set for the Washington Redskins. They run really a switch by the 2 inside receivers. And that's a good hit by Chris Conti. But it just, when you look at DJ Moore, he just got held up at the line of scrimmage with the switch by the bunch set receiver set of the Redskins.
Mistake on my part. That was Santana Moss on the reception, the veteran wideout. First down at the 43. Alfred Morris again puts his head down and gets up to the 44-yard line. Nick Roach moves in on the stop. What are your thoughts about the Bears moving Roach into the middle? Gino Hayes playing outside linebacker with Brian Urlacher out. Now, Brian's pointing toward opening day, but you never know.
Yeah, well, you look at Nick Roach. He's done it before a few years ago when Brian Urlacher had a wrist injury, and now they say he's cerebral. He's now the quarterback of the defense. He's getting more vocal and making the calls because Lance Briggs' best placement is as a run-and-hit linebacker at the will, so Roach should be just fine till Urlacher returns.
And the toss to Morris. Bounces off a couple and is wrestled down at midfield. Chris Conti with the first hit. Matt Towina got there as well, a gain of 6 on the play.
Right there, Roach got to read that one a little bit quicker on the pitch to the outside. And he's got the tackle. Look at the beeline by him. He's running right through. You got to weed through the trash. He does it. Now explode. Make the tackle. Don't allow the running back to fall forward. Now, Urlacher, that's the difference. You're giving up some athleticism, but Nick Roach is well equipped. He'll just read that a little bit quicker. Good one to learn from.
3rd and 2 for the Redskins. Royster is in at running back for Washington. There's Pack the defense. Griffin still has it. And the short toss is incomplete. He tried to go to Niles Paul, the tight end, the converted wide receiver, second-year man out of Nebraska.
Again, you're going to see a lot of movement plays, faking off the inside zone run. They sneak Niles Paul, as you mentioned, a converted tight end from a wide receiver position. It's just not an accurate throw.
Yeah.
It's not an accurate throw by RG3. When you throw to your left, if you're a right-handed quarterback, you got to get all your eyes towards your target, meaning square your shoulders, square your hips. That time RG3 did not do that.
Eric Weems waves for a fair catch inside the 10, 40-yard punt. Bears defense has come up strong. Jay Cutler out for his second series with a lead. Join Luke Canellis, Jeff Joniak, and Tom Thayer for Bears Game Day Live, brought to you by Subway every Sunday morning at 10:30 during the season on Fox Chicago. Lovie Smith, as we said, wants to see his players play better with more intensity in this game. They've come out well. Jay Cutler's second series starts from the 9. Matt Forte, his first carry in game action in preseason, takes it up to the 15.
Well, you look at it, it's an easy game. Press coverage, you run right by him, and that time Brandon Marshall runs past Cedric Griffin for the big play down the field. Now off coverage, that's his Josh Wilson playing off. Easy, just run the stop route. So we make this game a little harder than it is, Sam. Off coverage, hook it up. If there's press coverage, run right by him. Nice throws by Jay Cutler.
2 tight ends in. Spaeth shifts. Kellen Davis on the left side. Forte carries. And no gain on that play. It'll be a 3rd down coming up. Ryan Kerrigan making the stop. Matt Forte, who signed the big contract after some long negotiations, but it came through, and certainly a very important man for the Bears' chances.
I'll tell you what, he can do it all. This is a modern-day workhorse at the running back position. He can catch it, he can run it, and he can block. Exceptional for the Bears.
Third and a long 4. 3 wide receivers in. Cutler, nobody open. Eludes the pressure and gets a first down. I think one of the things that sometimes gets overlooked is Jay Cutler has good athleticism and good mobility.
Well, there's no doubt, and you look at the Bears right now. Gabe Karimi, the pocket collapses a little bit. Kerrigan on Karimi, the right tackle, and that's just Jay Cutler. He knows everybody's covered down the field. Now uses speed, his wheels. You watch this year, Mike Tice, they're finally going to utilize Jay Cutler's mobility. That's another factor that makes him an elite quarterback in the NFL.
Down through the years, when he's taken off, he's done well. Kyle Adams, a tight end, lined up in the backfield. Cutler being pressured. Throws, and he's got Devin Hester. Slips by one man, out of bounds, just short of the 40-yard line. Good job under pressure by Cutler.
And that's just a good feel by him, shuffling in the pocket. And it's good protection. And this is a deep play action pass again. 7-step drop. Well, he shortens it because he feels the pressure, slides to his left, and then that's just a good throw.
Hester goes out, an injured player on the field for Washington. We'll be right back. And Arakpo has gone to the bench.
You look at that down the field. We can argue this. Why do you have your best pass rusher back there in coverage? And he gets hurt on the play. I hate to see that in preseason, Sam, but he's been their leading sack leader the last 3 seasons.
First down for the Bears at the 38-yard line. And Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey, the wide receivers. Forte with the carry and a good run. This is what Forte, he's so dangerous, not only outside with great speed, but he's got good strength inside.
He's got tremendous vision. Look at him read the block, and he cuts back. And Lance Lewis does a good clean-out block along with center Roberto Garza, but he hits it when he has to hit it. Good read.
The flag on the play. The officials talking it over. Ooh, there's some talking going back and forth between D'Angelo Hall and Brandon Marshall. And Bears fans will remember not fondly a couple of years ago, D'Angelo Hall tied an NFL record with 4 interceptions on Jay Cutler and the Bears.
And there was some heated words between Jay Cutler and D'Angelo Hall in those days because Jay Cutler said, hey, our game plan was to go at D'Angelo Hall. Hall got the best of him, but things are much different now when you've got to go against Brandon Marshall.
So head coach Mike Shanahan on the Redskins sideline. There's still long discussion about the flag. The referee is Jim Winterberg.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Chicago, number 17. Live ball foul, 15 yards. Repeat the down.
It's on Alshon Jeffrey. There's the call. Let's see what the rookie did.
Well, he's going fisticuffs with D'Angelo Hall. D'Angelo Hall got the first shot in. And, hey, I'd credit Alshon Jeffrey. No, there's no sense letting a veteran intimidate you. He's not backing down from anybody. And there's nothing wrong with that. D'Angelo Hall gave him a cheap shot to the face, and Alshon Jeffrey was determined to finish it. You hate to see penalties, and that's what Lovie Smith is telling the official right now. Hey, it's always the second guy that gets caught, and Alshon Jeffrey was the second guy on that flag to get caught.
Jeffrey goes to the sideline. Devin Hester is back in, and they go empty backfield. And Forte splits out wide to the right. Cutler steps up and trying to fight off the pressure. He's brought down by Adam Carricker. To participate in the Toyota Fan Zone, tweet your Bears questions to us right now using the hashtag BearsToyota. Jim and I will answer the best question or questions later on in the game. Jim has good answers to everything. I promise you.
Don't talk to my wife. That's debatable.
Ball back at the 35-yard line. Have to get to the 48 for a first down. Forte, the running back. Kyle Adams lines up in the backfield. Forte cutting it back. Good close from the safety position by the former Bear, Brandon Merriweather. He signed as a free agent with the Redskins, played for the Bears last season.
And this is what he's known for. He's known as being aggressive at the line of scrimmage, too aggressive, and at times he was out of position for the Chicago Bears. But he's not afraid to come up and stick his nose in there, just like what happened on that play.
3rd and 11 for the Bears. 3 wide receivers in. Forte and Adams in the backfield with Cutler. There's some movement on the line. I think Gabe Karimi may have moved a little
False
bit.
start. Offense, number 67, 5 yards. Repeat the down.
You say Chris Spencer moved first.
And that looks like where the overload blitz was coming from on the 3rd down. It's 3rd and long. It looked like the Washington Redskins were going to heat them up a little bit. And obviously, Jay, it's the same thing. You're trying to hold the snap count so that they can figure it out up front. And I think Chris Spencer just got a little anxious on that play.
Kellen Davis, the tight end. Matt Forte, the running back. Cutler being rushed. Gets rid of it. Big time pressure from the middle linebacker, Lorenzo Alexander. And Cutler had to get rid of it. There's some intensity out on the field. And down in the trenches especially.
Well, this is what they call a late pressure rush. Look at right there, Lorenzo Alexander. He waits. He saw the back commit, and then he comes in on the rush. It's called a pressure rush. So they wait till everybody's occupied, then they bring the heat. Tough blitz to pick up.
Adam Podlesh to punt with Brandon Banks back deep. And a good kick by Podlesh toward the sideline. Goes out of bounds. Outstanding punt by Adam Podlesh. Out of bounds at the 17-yard line. We are late first quarter with the Bears leading. Watch Fox Chicago News at 9 weeknights with Bob Surratt and Robin Robinson. Here at Soldier Field, Adam Podlesh and Robbie Gold, their positions are secure. Ryan Quigley, who does a little place kicking, a little punting, does some work at training camp to take the load off the regulars. But you know that Podlesh and Gold will be in there start of the season. Redskins from the 17 with RG3. Robert Griffin III at quarterback. Big time pressure. Avoids it, but he's brought down. The ball's loose. And the Bears have it. Julius Peppers recovers the fumble. Israel Adonijah knocked it loose.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's pressure again. It's Major Wright from the backside. He blitzes off the edge. You'll see him outside here. Gets to the quarterback. And then, of course, you look at Izzy Adonijah. He cleans it up. Swats that football out of there with his right arm. Nice job. Good hustle again by the Bears. But Major Wright and that safety blitz is what got it going.
We were talking to Rod Marinelli before the game. He said number one thing they preach is takeaways on defense. And then tackling.
And how about the hustle tonight? They knew they were going to have some special angles because of RG3. And you see the Washington Redskins trying to protect RG3 with a lot of 2 tight end sets. That's really going to condense the defense and why the Bears felt confident bringing that safety blitz from the backside.
With the turnover, the Bears 1st and goal at the Redskins 8-yard line. Under a minute to go. Changes on the offensive line. Chris Williams, the left tackle now. Shiloh Rayshall, the left guard. That was by plan. Cutler short drop. The fade to the corner. Too high for Brandon Marshall with D'Angelo Hall covering on the play. That's a good matchup, Marshall and Hall.
And this is fine for the Bears. They go 2 tight end sets, so again, it's just one-on-one on the outside. Throw it up there for the big man. If he gets over top like that, Jay Cutler wants to fade stop him. If he gets behind D'Angelo Hall, he'll lead him to the back of the end zone. That time, just a tough throw to make for Jay.
Alshon Jeffrey is back in at wide receiver. 2 tight ends in, and it's Michael Bush. Carrying, he's in, touchdown!
What a move. Where do you see this replay? Watch the big man on Perry Riley, the linebacker, in the hole, one-on-one. Just an inside zone run for the Chicago Bears is all that was.
Well, that's exactly, we said it earlier after the 1 yard run, but that's the reason they got him. He is big, he's strong, and he's a good runner.
And don't forget what a great athlete he was. People forget this guy was a quarterback in high school. And look at the inside zone run. It's right here. Watch Perry Riley. Watch him juke. Watch him juke the linebacker, Perry Riley, right there. That is a big man with some shake and wiggle. And I'll say it again, goal line offense and short yardage, huge. Good handoff, one-on-one. You got to make a guy miss. Michael Bush did it on that play.
Redskins have another player down on the field injured. He's being checked out right now as Michael Bush goes to the sideline with 2 touchdowns in the game. That's nice work.
Well, I think he wanted to redeem himself from a week ago. His only play a week ago, he muffs a toss play to the right, so he wants to show his teammates he's into it, and now he gets 2 opportunities he's taken advantage of tonight.
The man shake it up on the play, and down on the field is Brandon Merriweather, the former Bear, and the starting safety for the Redskins. Bears with an outstanding first quarter. I've opened up a 13-0 lead with the extra point coming. As Michael Bush gets congratulations from his fellow running backs.
I think who needs the congratulations is the offensive line. They really have come out. You look at Jamarcus Webb has been criticized all week long at the left tackle spot. He's had good protection tonight. It's really been Gabe Karimi, the right side, on Kerrigan that's been a little bit of a struggle. But now how about powering off the football? This is the key to the Bears' success. It's got to be running the football and play action pass. They've done that tonight.
And that time you had Williams and Rayshall on the left side leading the blocking. The Ford scoring drive, 2 plays, 8 yards. And Michael Bush with the 8-yard touchdown run. And this does not look good for Brandon Merriweather. He's being helped off. Looks like some problems with the left leg.
Well, nobody of the Bears will question Brandon Merriweather's heart. This guy is a very athletic physical safety, almost to his own detriment, because he at times will be so aggressive to fill in there. At times finds himself out of position. Hopefully he's all right.
The Redskins have had 2 starters shaken up in this game. Earlier it was Brian Arakpo, and now Brandon Merriweather. For the Bears, some real good signs. Offense has cashed in. The defense turning the ball over. On the fumble, getting the recovery. And the Bears scoring to widen the lead. Robbie Gould. Extra point is good, and the Bears have a 14-0 lead. All things going right.
Well, this is how it all started, Sam, right here. You look at Major right on the outside. He pressures Israel Donajee, the defensive end, hustling, swats that ball away. And then how about the touchdown by Michael Bush? Second touchdown of the night. That's a physical run and making a guy miss. Look at him. Guys bouncing off him right there, breaking tackles. Good offseason acquisition for the Bears at running back.
He talked about, Michael Bush did, he doesn't only want to be a short yardage guy, but if he keeps doing that, that's money. Let's get an update on what's going on the field. Here's Luke Canellis.
Yeah, to follow up on what you're saying, Sam, his quote was, I don't necessarily like being a battered ram out there, but because he's 6'1", 245, everyone figures he loves the punishment. He doesn't. It was nice to see him get the football from 8-9 yards out there. Remember, he had a career-high 977 yards rushing last season for the Raiders when Darren McFadden had to sit out with injury. Phil Emery, very familiar with Michael Bush. Remember, Emery in Kansas City saw Bush twice a year in Oakland. One other quick note, Mike Tice was barking at his offensive line on the previous set of downs because Jay Cutler had no time in the pocket, and the offensive line came back and stood up against that defense of Washington's.
Thanks, Lou. Robbie Gould's kick to Brandon Banks. 5 yards deep, he brings it out. And a good return by Banks across the 25. And down at around the 28-yard line, Anthony Walters makes the tackle. 33-yard return by Banks. He's got his job on the line for the Redskins. For the Bears, Mike Tice. He wasn't happy with the offensive performance last week, I can tell you that. He was really upset, lack of intensity, but he's gotten his guys to perform thus far.
They've done a nice job tonight, and he's intense, and he's a straight shooter. These guys knew they had to come out, be physical, and perform.
Ball spotted at the 29, and Alfred Morris is brought down. No gain on the play.
Peppers, look at the long arms. He is just unbelievable. That's an outside zone running play. This guy is his wingspan is incredible with what he can do as a guy 6'7", 290 pounds, and the way he can run.
Blake Costanzo, number 52. We talked about him earlier, as Lou did on his linebacker report. He's in at middle linebacker. Gino Hayes is out, and Nick Roach has moved over to the outside linebacker spot. Off the play fake. Griffin being rushed. Kawina's got him with help from Adonijay. Third sack of the game for the Bears. We've reached the end of the first quarter. The Bears coaches drew it up well, and the players are performing. Bears lead it 14-0. Offensive coordinator Mike Tice was the starting quarterback at the University of Maryland in 1979 and 1980 before coming into the NFL as a tight end with the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, pretty impressive. You look at him. I mean, well, you know how the quarterbacks are. They are pretty boys back in the day. I believe he married his high school sweetheart. But talk about being humble. You go to the NFL, you're part of the grunts as a tight end up front on the offensive line, really an extension as a tight end. He really has become humble, and that is a quality coach right there. He's been at it a long time. Very knowledgeable.
Yeah, comes into the NFL, became head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, joined the Bears as offensive line coach, now offensive coordinator. And Lou Canellis will have a special feature on Mike Tice at halftime. Griffin gets time, finds an open man crossing the field. Jennings with the tackle. And we got a flag on the play. Pierre Garçon, the man on the reception. Garçon brought in as a number one receiver from the Indianapolis Colts.
Holding, 74 offense. Penalties declined. Fourth down.
Bears doing it up front again, forcing right tackle Tyler Columbus to hold because of the pass rush.
Good pressure by the Bears.
Outstanding all night by the Chicago Bears.
Eric Weems came in from Atlanta as a free agent. Very important special teams player, not only as a return man, but as a coverage man as well. He's one of the gunners on coverage. Sabraka did a great job in his first year last year with the Redskins. One-time Philadelphia Eagle. Weems steps up, took it on the run, slips a couple of men, looking for blocks, and he's down at the 45. There's a flag on the play. Good return by Eric Weems.
He gets bounced around right there like a pinball, but I mentioned this is a good test tonight because the Redskins last year under Danny Smith, the special team coach of the Redskins, they were number one in coverage units. And so this is a good test for Chicago.
Jim Winterberg.
We have an illegal block in the back on the return team during the return. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Dave Tobe, the special teams coordinator, will not be pleased with that. Bears on offense when we come back. Including short yardage and goal line with Michael Bush. Here's the second touchdown. This was from 8 yards out.
Well, I'll tell you what, you look at that second touchdown right there. You got to have some swivel hips, and that's what Michael Bush does. Makes the linebacker miss. It's one-on-one right there. Swivel hips, boom. What is he, Elvis Presley? Look at that right there. And that's a heck of a job by Michael Bush.
And that comes from our North Shore playbook. And Michael Bush stays in the game. Devin Hester and Brandon Marshall are the wide receivers, 2 tight ends. As the Bears start from the 39, Bush carrying. Bounces off the pile and turns nothing into an 8-yard gain.
Good vision again. I mean, when it's all stuffed up, he's hitting it where he's supposed to hit it. Sometimes you got to mush it up in there, but then have the ability to react. No, it's starting to close down to the right, and tremendous athlete in Michael Bush. Just because he's a big back, Sam, don't underestimate his athleticism.
Bears stay with Chris Williams at left tackle and Shiloh Rayshall at left guard. Roberto Garza remains in at center. Here's Bush going the right side, and that time comes up short. Lorenzo Alexander starting for London Fletcher, the regular middle linebacker, made the stop. It'll be 3rd and 2. Tenard Jackson, the one-time starting safety with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is replaced Brandon Merriweather at safety for the Redskins.
Not a bad place for the Bears to be. They're staying on schedule. Jay Cutler's 4 for 4 on first down, but a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1.5, right where you want to be, Sam.
2 tight ends in. Marshall and Hester, the wideouts. The toss to Bush. He's got a first down. Alexander, the middle linebacker, made the stop, but a good lead by Jay Cutler.
Yeah, he knew that Bush had the free release to the outside, and again, feeling the pressure to the right. Knows he's got it. He knows the backer now is not on Michael Bush right there, and that's going to be the open guy. It's almost a hot read. They didn't bring the blitz, but he knew he out-leveraged the defensive lineman of the Washington Redskins. Nice throw.
If the wide receiver's open, does he throw it down the field?
He could, but he knew he had the defense out-leveraged. Easier throw, the shorter the throw.
Deep drop, going long for Brandon Marshall, and some contact, but it's incomplete. Covered by Josh Wilson on the play.
Great protection again by the Bears offensive line. Again, because you're going downtown. It's going to take time to throw it downtown. Look at, you got the solidified. Look at Matt Spaeth. He's in helping. You got Michael Bush helping. This is what we talked about. It's Marshall's calling for the ball, tries to wall off Josh Wilson right there.
Ooh.
Good job to throttle him. But look at the play call right there. Going downtown, he had a tight end in help, and he had Michael Bush in to help in protection. That's a practical play call
Wilson
when you go deep.
Hooked Marshall's arm on the play. There's a completion to Bennett. Earl Bennett on the grab. 20-yard gain. And Bennett is so reliable.
This is a steady Eddie right there. Good protection again. Earl Bennett. That's a nice zip throw. Look at him. Beats him to the outside. Josh Wilson again, then crosses his face. Jay Cutler, he throws a bullet in there. That's how that had to be thrown, because Josh Wilson had the coverage underneath.
Cutler's 7 for 11. Bush is upended. Falls forward to the 27-yard line. Medea Williams on the tackle. A gain of 2 on the play. Some good work up front by the offensive line.
It's what you want, Sam. It's a balanced attack right now. They can go throw short. They can throw deep. They've run the football. They've thrown play action. And the offensive line has been steady throughout all of it. Now what do the Washington Redskins do? They got to be prepared for everything.
The blue line, that's the line of scrimmage. The yellow line, the first down line. They're brought to you by Lexus. 2nd and 8. Cutler leads Bush. It's off his hands, incomplete. D'Angelo Hall was there for Washington. That looked like a safety valve more than anything else. Bring up a 3rd and 8. Cutler 7 for 12, 122 yards. And has hit a big one to Brandon Marshall in the game. Bears have had a good job putting together this wide receivers core. And the man across the way, Mike Shanahan, knows Jay Cutler. He drafted him into the NFL in the first round in Denver. Timeout Bears. They want to talk it over on 3rd and long as Jay Cutler goes to talk to Mike Tice. Watch Good Day Chicago weekday mornings. We have what Chicago is talking about. And I think what Chicago will be talking about tomorrow morning will be the Bears offense.
Outstanding tonight. And you want to know what? This was the vision, I believe, of General Manager Phil Emery. Just when you talk about in the division, Green Bay, number 1 in the NFL. They averaged 35 points a game. Detroit averaged just over 29 points a game. Last year, the Bears only averaged 22. This offense is explosive that they were hoping it to be.
Here's 3rd and 8. Cutler being pressured. Gets rid of it, almost intercepted. Tried to get it to Earl Bennett, and Josh Wilson had it in his hands and dropped it.
This is a tough one. I think he expected Earl Bennett to really cross Josh Wilson's face. It's just a little drag route underneath. Feels the pressure. This is really the first pressure Jay's had. They bring Lorenzo Alexander up the middle. Earl Bennett's got to keep on coming. Earl Bennett's got to keep on coming. That's what Jay was hoping he was going to do.
So the Bears get a break as the pass falls incomplete, and Robbie Gould will attempt a 45-yard field goal. Adam Podlesh, the holder. The long snapper is the 15-year veteran Patrick Manley. And Gould puts it right through. Oh! Bears with a 17-0 lead. Robbie Gould's got a strong leg. And from 45 yards, he rarely misses. Bears go 9 plays, 35 yards, 3.5 minutes. That's the Ford scoring drive. It's finished off by Robbie Gould's 45-yard field goal.
The only thing that stopped that drive was miscommunication between Earl Bennett and Jay. Those are sustained drives. Exactly what Chicago Bears were hoping for.
Brandon Banks back deep. Banks drops the ball, takes a knee for the touchback. And the Redskins will start from the 20-yard line. Watch Bears on demand exclusively from Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Sam Rosen, Jim Miller, Lou Canellis at Soldier Field. RG3, Robert Griffin III, will be the starting quarterback for the Redskins when the season begins. Rex Grossman, now the backup, the former Chicago Bears first-round pick. It's Alfred Morris slipping one man, and then Matt Towina brings him down. Henry Melton got a piece of him, slowed him down, and Towina, the other tackle, making the stop. Stephen Paya, the starting defensive tackle, is out with a sprained ankle suffered in practice. They hope to have him back fairly soon.
Yeah, he was doing well, and he overtook the starting position from Matt Towina. And look at Matt Towina making the play right there. He's hoping this has opened up a window for him to get back on the field.
First team defense still in. Nick Roach has moved back into the middle. At linebacker. Griffin steps up, throws deep. And the ball's incomplete, overthrown, but a flag on the play. A lot of contact between Charles Tillman and Pierre Garçon.
This is going to be an interesting call for the official because once the receiver's out of bounds, he's ineligible. And so it'll be interesting to see if they call it on Peanut Tillman, whether he forced Pierre Garçon out of bounds.
Pass interference, defense, number 33. Spot of the foul, automatic.
Spot of the foul, he was out of bounds, Sam.
Let's see.
And this will be interesting. I want to see the replay. If he's out of bounds, let's see where the ball... He's out of bounds right there. He's out of bounds. And they called the flag. Let's see where they mark it.
They marked it at the Bears' 45-yard line, a 34-yard penalty. And
yeah, he threw it after the play. Peanut Tillman has every bit of right to real estate right there. He can run the receiver out of bounds. He's running in stride with the receiver. To me, that's a bad call.
Looks like an incorrect call. Griffin off the play fake rolling. And he gets rid of it and completes it inside the Bears' 35 to Leonard Hankerson, the second-year man out of Miami, a pickup of 11 on the play. A lot of rollouts, a lot of movement for RG3.
This is typical Mike Shanahan. Go back to the days of John Elway when they picked up Jake Plummer from the Arizona Cardinals. How about when they drafted Jay Cutler out of Vandy? Taking advantage of a quarterback's athleticism. This was where RG3 really can pressure you on the perimeter.
Ball at the Bears 34. Major Wright steps up, showing blitz. He's coming. Alfred Morris going straight ahead, not getting much, maybe half a yard on the play. Good job up front by Matt Toina.
You look at it right here. Again, you look at Major Wright blitzing from the backside. He's just got to finish the tackle on the zone run play. Twice they blitzed him. He's just got to finish it. But good stout inside again by the Bears.
And Israel Adonijah had a piece of that as well. No gain on the play, 2nd and 10. Bears first defense with Matt Costanzo at middle linebacker now again. Griffin throwing, completing to his wide receiver Pierre Garçon. Garçon, who had great years with Peyton Manning in Indianapolis.
Yeah, really a breakout season last year for Pierre Garçon and the Indianapolis Colts. Lance Briggs, they're just trying to high-low the weak side backer. Lance Briggs comes up and makes the tackle. Not too much there. It's the zone coverage, and he's just taking what the defense gives him.
Yeah.
Good reaction by Lance Briggs.
Shea McClellan in at defensive end as the Bears shift their defense. Adonijah moves inside. McClellan the left end, Peppers the right end.
This is pressure. 4 defensive ends on the field at the time for the Bears.
3rd and 5. Griffin gets time. Nobody open. Being chased, and he's got the first down. And there you see that athletic ability and the run ability of Robert Griffin.
This is where he kills you. He had over 2,000 yards in college rushing the football, 33 touchdowns at the end of the day. McClellan, Shea McClellan gets closed inside. Then Israel Adonijah gets beaten on the edge. Trent Williams, there's Peppers screaming across the field. He can run now, but that's a rookie mistake by Shea McClellan. He runs a spin move, gets sucked inside. He's responsible for contain on that side where RG3 made the run.
14-yard run. Here's the Bears' first-round draft pick, Shea McClellan.
Shaking his head. He
It's
knows
a learning process. As we said last week, he did some real good things. He had a couple of mistakes. But you see him getting more and more responsibility, seeing a lot more time with the first-string defense.
Absolutely. He knows it. It's 3rd down. This is what RG3 does best, and he tries a spin move to the inside. You can't do it. We always talk about gap integrity and understanding the contained by the defensive ends of the outside. That's a good one for Shea McClellan, first-round draft pick to learn from.
First down at the Bears 15, and they stop Alfred Morris for a loss. Blitzing from that side was Major Wright again. And he was there to make the tackle.
Well, they're bringing the heat. There's no doubt about the Bears. And you look at, here he comes again from the outside. But how about Nate Collins, too, the defensive tackle? You and I talked to Rod Marinelli. He's been impressed with him. Look at him blow it up right there. That's nice. So now you got the contain from the outside, and Nate Collins, blowing it up from the inside. Nowhere for the running back to go.
Couple of changes for the Bears on defense. That time the ball is knocked down incomplete. Chauncey Davis, number 94, is in at defensive end. Julius Peppers has stayed in, and we mentioned number 78, Nate Collins, is in at defensive tackle. Lance Briggs has come to the sideline.
And to me, that says a lot about Nate Collins. And Rod Marinelli, you and I talked to the defensive coordinator before the game. He is impressed about this kid's toughness. Still trying to get Brian Price, who they traded for, up to speed from Tampa Bay and get his conditioning. But Nate Collins did a heck of a job with a sack last week.
Gino Hayes, number 91, is in the game. Evan Royster is the running back for Washington on 3rd and long. And it's Royster on the draw play. And the tackle, the hit by Conti, upends him at the 10-yard line. Good play by Chris Conti, who's holding his right arm.
Hate to see that. It's either shoulder or wrist. Like you said, they fake the quick bubble screen as DJ Moore falls down. Conti, it does look like it, but it's really the footing. DJ Moore slips. to see what happened with Chris Conte. And you look at Major Wright. He was able to come back after a hamstring last week. Hopefully nothing too serious here with Chris Conte. And here's another player that Rod Marinelli, the defensive coordinator, and Lovie Smith raved about. Yeah. Always in the right position, making the right reads, taking the right angles, understanding the defense.
And the safety position has been one that's been in flux in recent years. Different players coming in each year. Conte came in as a draft pick last year and started. And that's a good sign that he's up and walking off under his own power. And
Lovey's out
maybe
there.
Just a bit of a stinger.
Well, hopefully that's the case for him. But you give him credit because one of the players who's backing him up, Craig Stelz, is another player who's had a phenomenal camp. They are high on this fifth-year player from LSU who's, again, always in the right position, starting to understand, or I should say understands the defense and where he needs to be. And so they do have some depth there.
Defense holds, and Neil Rackers will attempt a 28-yard field goal. And the kick is through. Rackers and Graham Gano in a battle for the number one place kicking job for Washington. Bears defense does a good job holding the Redskins to 3. Chicago Bears Network presents the Bears All Access Radio Show, brought to you by Sports Authority. Bears players will take over your radio, and the next show is Thursday at 6 p.m. on WSCR 670. The Score. The Ford scoring drive. The Redskins 9 plays, 70 yards. And the Bears defense tightens up inside the 20 and holds Washington to a 28-yard Neil Rackers field goal. Rackers kicking it off. Eric Weems takes it out from 2 yards deep. Weems is upended. Down at the 20-yard line. And the former Washington Redskin first-round draft pick. He spent 5 years with the Redskins. Jason Campbell comes in, the Bears' number 2 quarterback. And this will be interesting matchup. Good night for Jay Cutler.
I think an outstanding night. Productive on first down, accurate with his down-the-field throws, and got aggressive, and he's got to feel good coming off of that broken thumb. I thought he threw the ball exceptional tonight.
7 for 13, 122 yards. Hit the one long pass to Brandon Marshall. Khalil Bell carrying. It's 3 on the play, maybe close to 4. Khalil Bell in a good matchup and a good battle for the number 3 running back spot with Armando Allen.
Yeah, 2 different type of backs. You look at it kind of a bell cow, kind of like Michael Bush. Bell can be a third down and short yardage type of a back, or goal line, I should say. Armando Allen's more of a scat back. So it's really, that's a decision. Do you want a different type of guy when you look at Bell compared to Armando Allen?
There's 2nd and 6. Campbell gets time. Khalil Bell was thrown a little behind him. Reached back for it, had it in his hands and dropped it. By design, the back in the game, Jamarcus Webb at left tackle, and in back at left guard is Chris Spencer. There's Rex Grossman, former first-round draft pick of the Bears, now with the Redskins. And Jason Campbell, former first-round draft pick of the Redskins, now with the Bears.
Talk about trading places. I mean, but I give them both credit. I mean, Rex Grossman felt vilified here in Chicago, did lead the team to a Super Bowl back in 2006. I give Jason Campbell a lot of credit. He's been a lot of class. He loved Joe Gibbs. He loved the Redskins. How about this? He's still their all-time completion percentage leader at 62%.
On third down, nobody open, and they bring him down. Sack on the play, and the Bears will be forced to punt. Chris Conte went to the Bears locker room, shoulder injury, and will not return.
Right there, I'd probably classify that as a coverage sack. You got a new quarterback in there. He's getting a feel for it on third down, and the one time the pocket collapsed right there for Jason Campbell.
Adam Podlesh to punt. Brandon Banks is deep for Washington. Good high kick by Podlesh. Banks lets it bounce, and Bounce sideways, then takes a Redskins bounce, and Stelz picks it up at the 45-yard line. Earlier, we asked you to tweet your Bears question to our Toyota Fan Zone, and our first question of the night: what have you seen that has allowed the offensive line to be successful tonight, Jim?
I always say it's a more practical approach. What I mean by that, the play calling, keeping tight ends in, having backs, chip blocking. It's going to give the quarterback more time and protect young tackles. How about running the football, and how about play action, and how about quick hitters? Three-step passing calls by Mike Tice tonight. All those things factored in, to me, a much more practical approach by offense coordinator Mike Tice.
And interesting what they're doing is substituting two left side players. Williams comes in with Rayshall to replace Jamarcus Webb and Chris Spencer.
And I like that because those are the two guys that are working together in practice. We look at Rayshall and Williams. They've been with the backup group. Keep those guys together because they know the communication and they've been working well together. Same can be said for Jamarcus Webb and Chris Spencer. So it's well thought out, but let there be no mistake. The competition is still going on, even though camp has ended.
Sorry, Jim, you see the numbers: 132 yards total offense against Denver last week, 171 yards already in the first half tonight. Redskins have another player down. They've had two injuries in the game, to Brian Arakpo and to Brandon Merriweather.
It's like Dijon Gomes, I believe, the safety.
Yep. Second-year man out of Nebraska.
It's on the left side of your screen, right there. Oh, he just rolled his ankle right there is all it did. Nobody hit him. And that's, he's able to jog off the field. That's a good sign.
Redskins start from the 45, but that play never got going. The toss back, Brian Price steps in and throws it for a 3-yard loss. Bears' second defensive unit on the field: Chauncey Davis and Shea McClellan, the ends. Brian Price and Nate Collins, the tackles.
This is a guy, I think he can be an X factor when you look at Brian Price. Again, same exact defense. He was extremely explosive coming out of UCLA when he was drafted second round by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If the Bears get him up to condition, I think he could be an X factor as a D tackle.
J.T. Thomas, number 97, into the linebacker, along with Gino Hayes and Blake Costanzo. Griffin, nobody open, dumps it off to the fullback, Dorson Boyce. First-year man out of Washington, picks up 9 on the play to the Bears' 48-yard line. Bring up a third and make it 3rd and 4. The ball at the 49. Been a good first half for the Bears. There's secondary. Kelvin Hayden. Now 5 defensive backs in. Hayden is one corner. Jonathan Wilhite the other. DJ Moore is the 5th defensive back. Here's Robert Griffin throwing too high, looking for Santana Moss, and overthrew him.
Yeah, he just sailed it. Tried to be perfect with it and sailed it, a little bit uncomfortable with the coverage. And this is what he's got to learn. He's got to learn to be a pocket passer, and he's going to polish it up. And Santana Moss tell him, hey, I'm trying to take the high post for you.
He picks things up very, very quickly. Very bright guy. Graduated with a degree in political science, working toward his master's in communication, and has time for football along the way. Fair catch waved for by Eric Weems at the 10-yard line. 2 3-and-outs forced by the Bears. Well, we see the Bears offense playing well. Earlier, Jim talked about the fact that the Bears needed to improve their offense to keep up with the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions.
I mean, look at those numbers. That is explosion. And so I think when you look at the Bears at 22.1, it was out of necessity. It's not that the Bears defense can't shut those teams down, but they're so explosive, you better be able to score in the high 20s. Thus, Phil Emery goes out, drafts Alshon Jeffrey, gets Brandon Marshall. They've got some big-time weapons now on the outside for Jay Cutler. Best receiving corps in a long, long time for the Bears.
Short pickup on the run by Khalil Bell. And there's the key to the offense right there. This is his team. Jay Cutler is the man. And he got a huge ovation when he was introduced at the start of the game. But the offense, the head coach feels that this guy is an elite quarterback in the National Football League. That's what Lovie Smith told us before the game.
He said he's been the most impressive player in camp, too, and we'll get back to that here in a minute, Sam, after this play.
On 2nd and 8, the play fake by Campbell. Rolls and throws, and a catch on the play. There's a flag, but a terrific catch made by Alshon Jeffrey. Bernard Jackson, the safety, covering on the play, but there's the promise you see from an Alshon Jeffrey.
Pass interference, defense, number 34. Penalty enforced at the spot of the foul. Automatic, first down.
These guys are so big, Sam, you can't defend them. And then look at the ball placement by Jason Campbell. Big, physical, he's going to shield the defender. Watch the ball placement by Jason Campbell behind him. You can't go through the receiver. You can't go through a guy who's 6'4", 220 like Alshon Jeffrey. 2 weeks in a row, he's done well.
That's the difference in the Bears receivers now. They've got some big guys that are tough to cover. Alshon Jeffrey, Rasheed Davis is in at wide receiver, number 81. Campbell gets time and finds a man. It's Alshon Jeffrey again. And the speed down the sideline into Redskins territory. He's out of bounds at the 42.
Think he's gaining confidence. That's still the Redskins' first team D out there. And there's Jeffrey again. He comes off. Nice stem. It looks like he's going to run a curl to the inside. Yep, stems it. Good location. Jay Cutler throwing away from linebacker Lorenzo Alexander. Or Jason Campbell, throwing the ball. And now just run after the catch. But a good job seeing the zone coverage sitting down, and Jason Campbell delivers good, accurate football again away from coverage.
34-yard gain on the play. Eric Weems replaces Alshon Jeffrey. And Campbell, short drop, pump fake, wants to go deep, and he's sacked. That time, the linebacker, Perry Riley, with the sack. Campbell wanted to put it up for Eric Weems deep.
Yeah, that one's going to take some time. That's a double move. If it takes too long, Jason Campbell's just got to throw it up and not take the sack on that play.
2-minute warning here at Soldier Field in Chicago. The Bears with a 17-3 lead. A good night for Jay Cutler. Beautiful night here in Chicago. And the Bears with a big lead. Nice outfits. Dress up on Saturday night.
Well, Pocahontas wasn't too happy right there. That was a Redskin fan that's not too happy about the score tonight.
2nd and 18 for the Bears. Dane Sanzenbacher is in, along with Eric Weems and Rasheed Davis at wide receiver. Everybody out. Campbell's throw incomplete. Intended for Rasheed Davis. Richard Crawford, who had an interception for Washington last week, with good coverage on the play. Rasheed Davis called back in after Devin Thomas left the team during training camp. And Davis, a good special teams player, brought back. Armando Allen, number 25, is in. Speedy back out of Notre Dame. 3rd and 18. Pressure on Campbell. They've got him. 3rd sack of the game for the Redskins, all on Jason Campbell. And once again, Perry Riley with the sack. Ryan Kerrigan was there as well.
It's tough on 3rd and long to make that call. And I go back to the sack that he took on when they were trying to do the out and go. I mean, if you just throw the ball at minimum, you throw it out of bounds, not take the sack, it's a much more manageable situation. And now it leads to a 3rd and long where everybody knows you're going to throw deep, and the Bears' protection couldn't hold up on that play.
They're resetting the clock. The Bears have called the Redskins have called a timeout. Mike Shanahan, his special teams coordinator, Danny Smith alongside. This is an important year for Mike Shanahan. The Redskins have finished last under Mike Shanahan's coaching for 2 years in a row. And of course, he traded 3 first-round draft picks and a second to get Robert Griffin in the number 2 pick.
It's amazing. They still had 9 players drafted in this year's draft, and you give up that much compensation to draft your franchise quarterback. They're tied at the hip, no question, but in 3 years, here's another team that have overhauled the roster completely. Only 15 players remain when he took over as the head coach.
Brandon Banks from the 9 on the return. He's got some room. Bears have trouble here. Banks could go all the way. There are no flags down, and Brandon Banks with a 91-yard return for a touchdown.
Not how you want to close out the half for the Chicago Bears. Well, now there's a happy Redskins fans. Pocahontas just woke up right there with an explosive play within 2 minutes of the half. It's going to be interesting. We'll have to go back and see the replay. Take a look at punter Adam Podlish. I believe he came up limping on the play, and that's why he wasn't able to get contained on the outside for Brandon Banks, because the punter is basically the last line of defense on that.
Dave Tobe, the special teams coach, special teams coordinator for the Bears, seen a couple of returns in that one all the way. In regular season play, Adam Podlish has never had a punt return for a touchdown. Here in preseason, they do. Graham Gano with the extra point. Redskins have closed to 17-10.
And right there, you'd like to see him secure that tackle right there. I didn't see who missed it, but now look at the edge. Podlish he's the last line of defense. Watch, he pulls up right here.
Yeah.
Right there. So keep your eye on that. That could be Bears sets. That could be a big blow right there. Hopefully it's nothing serious for the first string punter.
Be a hamstring. You see him grab the back of his leg, left thigh.
There he is again. Got to take better angle, even though he is the last line of defense. But and that Bears take a lot of pride in their special teams. Let's be honest, Dave Tobe, that's a shot to the gut right there to end the half. Playing so well, doing some good things, and there you see Podlish talking with the doctors and the trainers, Bobby Slater, right there, right in front, along with Chris Hanks. And that's Dr. Newber all the way to the far left right there for the Bears talking to their punter.
Ryan Quigley is the backup punter. He's getting loose, getting ready. He'd also have to be the holder for Robbie Gold if Podlish can't continue. Graham Gano to kick it off. And the Redskins with the 91-yard punt return for a touchdown. Here's Weems bringing it out from 8 yards deep. Weems has good speed. He finds an opening, and he might go, and he's brought down from behind. Last chance. And Terrence Austin, the backup wide receiver, took him down. A 48-yard return for Eric Weems.
Well, that's a return right from the get-go. You look at the Bears set up. Weems starts out straight. Then he connects right. Good block up front by Sanzenbacher. And there is Austin coming in for the game-saving tackle right there. Weems almost had it. Good returner in Atlanta. Another good pickup by Phil Emery and the Chicago Bears.
Free agent signing, that's exactly what they want from Eric Weems. He's a Pro Bowl special teams performer and an excellent return man. Bears from the 40, Campbell the quarterback, Armando Allen the running back. 3 wide receivers in. Campbell throws short to the tight end. Kyle Adams broke a tackle, gets to the Redskins 45. Gain of 15. The hurry-up offense for the Bears. There's plenty of time as they want to put some points on the board. Alshon Jeffries back in. Dane Sanzenbacher, Rasheed Davis, the wideouts. Campbell completes it to Rasheed Davis. Take it out of bounds at the 42. Pickup of 3 on the play. Redskins still have several starters. Most of their starting defense is still in the game. Bears building up the big lead, led by Jay Cutler, led 17-0, and the Redskins have closed to 17-10. Jay Cutler played 24 snaps while he was in the first half. Back in, Chris Williams and Shiloh Rayshall on the left side of the offensive line. Campbell decides to take a timeout. Time was winding down on the play clock. 53 seconds remaining, first half, and at halftime, stay tuned because Lou Canellis will have a feature interview with the offensive coordinator of the Bears, Mike Tice. And we'll see if we can find out more on Adam Podlesh. Lou, you're down on the field. What do you know?
I'm standing right here on the sidelines by the Bears bench, Sam, and as Podlesh was walking off the field, he explained to one of the trainers that when he changed directions, he actually strained his hip. So he left with a hip injury, not a hamstring injury. He'd be a big loss, as you and Jim were talking about, because last year he set a franchise record with his net punt average. So they need him for terrific field position all season long.
Oh, you're right about that. Thanks, Lou. So it looks like a hip injury to Adam Podlesh, who's gone to the locker room. And you see trying to chase down Brandon Banks. Couldn't do it. And pulled up. Eric Weems in at wide receiver. Campbell gets rid of it quickly. Too high for Weems. Mediu Williams, the starting safety, stepped in front of Eric Weems. And the pass too high. Campbell took a hit as he released. Bears have a 3rd and 7. Right now a little too long as far as field goal try. It'd be 60 yards right now. Campbell looks it over. Goes outside to Weems. And he slips the tackle of D'Angelo Hall. Turns it into a big gainer. Inside the 10. What a play by Eric Weems.
I'll tell you what a play by the veteran quarterback, Jason Campbell. He identifies blitz, signals to Weems. Hey, just run a no-look hitch. Now it's one-on-one on the outside. Eric Weems and his speed makes the guy miss, who's a talented corner in D'Angelo Hall. Credit the veteran quarterback, Audubon. That's something new also in the Bears offense. Nice job by Jason Campbell. Sets up potential score here to end the half.
33-yard gain to the 9-yard line. First and goal for the Bears. Weems, Sonsenbacher, and Davis are the wideouts. Kyle Adams, the tight end. Campbell gets time, throws, and completes it to Weems at the 5-yard line. So Eric Weems getting a chance to play a lot tonight, not only as a return man, but as an important receiver.
Yeah, you look at right here, just a little shallow route underneath. Good accurate throw again by Jason Campbell. Now the clock is against him right now. Be ready to use those timeouts if you don't score here.
Armando Allen, they stop the play. Flag on the play, looks like a false start by the Bears.
False start. Offense, number 62.
Shiloh Rayshall, the left guard, called on the false start.
And that's not going to endear. Left guard right there. I almost think that again, you look at it, it almost looked like a cadence issue. Nobody came off choreographed at the same time.
Chicago calls a timeout.
Oh, there you go. That's probably why right there. The timeout called really kind of disrupted probably the offensive line. Hey, is it timeout? Is it not timeout? And nobody comes off on the same timing. Well, let's take a look right here at left guard Shiloh
Rayshall.
False
start.
Okay,
there will be no
there it is.
10-second runoff.
There
Chicago
it is,
will use a timeout.
Yeah, it's all on Shiloh Rayshall right there. Probably just looking to get a jump. It's a draw play. Setting for pass, and then he's trying to get down to get his block. And that's not going to endear him to offensive coordinator Mike Tice. Sometimes when you're centers, they can throw you off. You know, they're bobbing their head, they're making some calls, and maybe that threw off Shiloh Rayshall also.
With the penalty and the clock moving, the Bears had the option of taking a 10-second runoff which they didn't want, or using a timeout. They used the timeout, and they are out of timeouts. The ball is back to the 10-yard line. And it'll be 2nd and goal for the Bears at the 10. So with no timeouts remaining, they've got to get it into the end zone.
Absolutely. This is going to be a throwing situation where you got a couple opportunities to take a shot if they elect to, or they could take the field goal. But this is where they got to take a shot here at 2nd and 10. They could have a couple opportunities here. There's enough time on the clock to make it happen.
Chris Summers, number 83, a tall receiver in wide to the left side. Campbell looking for Summers. He went up. Did he hold it? He was out of bounds when he came down with the ball.
6'5", 215 when you look at Summers. Accurate throw by Jason Campbell. Just keep it high for him. Well, goes and gets it with his hands. 1 foot in.
Did not stay in bounds. Too bad. That was a good try. The rookie from Liberty.
I tell you what, these receivers, it is just shocking how big and physical they are.
Bears will attempt a 28-yard field goal. Ryan Quigley is the holder, replacing the injured Adam Podlak. Hold is good. Snap was good by Manley. And a 28-yard field goal for Robbie Gould gives the Bears a 20-10 lead with 3 seconds remaining in the first half. A good drive down the field. A couple of good plays. Interesting, they put the lanky, tall receiver in there and try to out-leap the defenders.
Yeah, that's all you can ask for. Weems with the big play. Good check by Jason Campbell against the blitz. They get the big play to get him down there. Sure, they would like to manage the clock better with the false start by Shiloh Rishal, so that's got to get cleaned up. But had 2 opportunities to go for the end zone. At least they come away with points.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to do here in the NFL. When you get down to pay dirt, you got to score. You want touchdowns, but the Bears will take a field goal right there.
The Ford scoring drive. 7 plays, 51 yards, and a Robbie Gould 28-yard field goal, his 2nd of the game, giving the Bears the 20-10 lead. Now Dave Tobe, the special teams coordinator, talking with his unit because he knows the Redskins have shown to be a good return team and doesn't want to give them the opportunity here with 3 seconds left in the first half.
Last thing you want to see is Brandon Banks lighting you up again.
Yeah.
He had over 1,100 yards, I believe, last year when it comes to return. So he is qualified now when you look at their return game.
Banks' job was on the line. His head coach, Mike Shanahan, said he's got to not only perform as a return man, he's got to be a good wide receiver and give us something at both positions. And last season, he didn't return one for a touchdown, but he went a long way with that 91-yard return. Robbie Gould, strong leg. And through the end zone. Well, that negates Brandon Banks. Good job by Robbie Gould. 3 seconds remaining in the half. And it's been a good first half for the Bears. Outside of the punt return, they've done an excellent job on both sides of the ball. Robert Griffin III going all the way thus far for Washington. And this will be a kneel down, and the first half comes to an end. Stay tuned. Lou Canellis has a special feature interview with the offensive coordinator of the Bears, Mike Tice. Good first half, 2 touchdowns for Michael Bush. The defense came up with some big plays, and the Bears have a 20-10 lead at halftime over the Washington Redskins. Stay tuned. We've got a lot more coming your way. We're moments away from the start of the second half. Let's take a look at the statistics brought to you by Yokohama. Great numbers, as Luke Canellis pointed out, 262 yards total offense. Gave up 3 sacks with Jason Campbell in the game, but overall a good performance
by the Chicago Bears in the first half, both sides of the ball, but especially on offense. The Bears scored 3 of the 4 times they had the ball with Jay Cutler in the game.
Yeah, it's good to see Jay Cutler obviously throwing to his new weapons. Brandon Marshall, look at Michael Bush. He scores a couple of touchdowns in the first half. And also, how about when you look at Weems, Eric Weems, who they picked up from Atlanta, and Alshon Jeffrey. These are all new weapons for the Bears. Jay Cutler ran the offense beautifully, and the offensive line, great time to throw the football.
Now, defensively, even without Brian Urlacher in the game, Nick Roach did a good job at middle linebacker. Defense made some big plays.
Absolutely, and I think it was the defensive line up front. Henry Melton getting good push. Saw Brian Price there towards the end of the half. And how about Israel Adonijah? He gets the strip fumble, set up another score for the Chicago Bears. So defense clicking exactly how Rod Marinelli, the defensive coordinator, wanted it to click.
Now, with the first-team offense in there, the offensive line did a good job protecting Jay Cutler. But there were 3 sacks on Jason Campbell. Any cause for concern there?
I really don't think so. I think that's a new signal caller in there. The one I thought was Jason Campbell's fault, where it was a hook and go on the outside. He's just got to release the football. And so if you just throw it away, it will lead to a 2nd and 10 rather than a 3rd and long for the Chicago Bears.
All right, there's Jay Cutler. An enjoyable night. His first game action of preseason. You see the numbers there. He's been a daddy for less than 2 weeks.
The Bears will receive the kickoff to start the second half. Probably the biggest concern, couple of negatives in the first half for the Bears. As far as game is concerned, they gave up the 91-yard punt return for a touchdown, and then the physical status of Adam Podlesh, their number 1 punter, who came up lame, seemed to be a hip injury.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And plus, I think Mike Tice is going to be upset that they didn't score a touchdown at the end of the half. They have to settle for a field goal because of the couple of sacks, but we'll have to check in on Podlesh because you're right. Good special teams group, can't afford to lose him. Key punter for the Bears.
Neil Rackers kicks it off. And Lorenzo Booker on the return. Backup running back, weaving his way, and he could go all the way. He's got a bunch of blockers in front of him. Lorenzo Booker to the end zone. 105-yard return. Well, that'll make Dave Tobe smile.
Well, it's interesting because we talked at the running back position. There's a key battle between Emmanuel Allen and Khalil Bell, and Lorenzo Booker's now stating his case of why he should remain on the roster. It's his special teams and his return ability when you look at Lorenzo Booker. So right there, makes the most of it. 5th year out of Florida State, really has been his key position in the National Football League as a special teamer.
Great return. I mean, he's almost the forgotten man in the running back situation with Khalil Bell and Armando Allen behind Matt Forte and Michael Bush. Extra point is good by Robbie Gould, and the Bears strike quickly on the opening kickoff to start the second half.
And look, you got to have the vision. Again, it looks like a return right all the way. Makes 2 guys miss. Right there, look at the vision to cut back. Really just jukes again the Neil Rackers, who is a free agent kicker, the Washington Redskins sign, and it's to the house. Right there, makes a cut. Now watch him juke Neil Rackers right there. It's over. Well, that's a running back who's got great vision, because that's what he is. He was a scat back at Florida State, and he's got that type of vision, and now here in the return game.
Watch this reaction on the bench. Yeah, Chris Williams. I can appreciate the good play. Lorenzo Booker, 5th-year man out of Florida State, signed as a free agent, formerly with the Minnesota Vikings. And the return for a touchdown. So special teams has given some and has gotten some.
Hey, they're trading punches right now. Redskins get one, now the Bears get one of their own. But these are the type of battles that come down to the final cuts. You look at Armando Allen, who we said first year out of Notre Dame. He's a scat back. That's the same role as Lorenzo Booker, but you look at Booker offers the special teams angle of it.
Terrence Austin from 3 yards deep returns for the Redskins. And that time Anthony Walters got there to wrap him up. At the 15, he gets forward to the 17-yard line. Here's the return from 105-yard return, 5 yards deep.
Yeah, that's just great vision. It really is. And again, this is a good Redskins group. They're known for a good coverage team. They were in the top 10 in the NFL a year ago, and I think Dave Toub gave that special teams group an earful at halftime.
They responded. Underway second half, and the Redskins complete to Logan Paulson, the tight end, the third-year man out of UCLA. In the game is Kirk Cousins, another rookie quarterback. He was a fourth-round draft pick out of Michigan State.
Yeah, know this player well from Michigan State. Hey, had the most wins in college over the last three, or Big Ten, I should say, over the last 3 years in Kirk Cousins.
An injury on the play. The safety Brandon Harden of the Bears is down on the field. Brandon Harden still on the turf, and they have brought a stretcher out for him. Take a look as the cart comes out. Here's the play. The hit on the tight end, Logan Paulson.
And that's the seam route, and again, the league is trying to legislate. Try not to lead with your helmet. Get the shoulder in there. It looks like he just, it takes the wrong angle. And again, Paulson is 260 pounds, and you just wonder with Brandon Harden, because he had a shoulder injury in college. Is it the shoulder? Did he re-injure that? I don't want to speculate, but obviously they feel it's pretty serious, as all the doctors are out there for Chicago. And now we've seen two of the Bears' safeties get hurt. Chris Conte went out a little bit earlier, and now Brandon Harden, who's getting his first action here as a rookie draft pick for the Bears.
Well, they want to immobilize Brandon Harden here, get him on the stretcher and up on the cart, and take him into the locker room for medical attention. On a good night overall for the Bears.
Well, it brings up a good discussion that we had before the game with Rod Marinelli and the importance of tackling and proper tackling and form tackling.
We're waiting on the injury to Brandon Harden. We'll step out for a moment. The Bears medical staff being very careful with Brandon Harden, who had the hit on Logan Paulson, the tight end of the Redskins. He's on the stretcher as they totally immobilize him. Earlier, we asked you to tweet your Bears question to our Toyota Fan Zone. Jim, how about this one? Which receiver do you think will emerge as Jay Cutler's favorite third down target this season?
I think that one's pretty easy. It's got to be security blanket Earl Bennett. And I say that their relationship at Vandy when they played together. And how about this? Brandon Marshall on the outside. He occupies a little bit of coverage. That's going to free up Earl Bennett in the middle in those key situations. Earl is steady Eddie, good football player.
Now, we talked about it in the first half. The receiving core now is really taking shape, led by Brandon Marshall, who is clearly a number one and a top receiver in the NFL. You've got the rookie, another big, tall receiver, and Alshon Jeffrey. You've got the smaller man in Devin Hester, who you can use in end-arounds, short, quick passes to the outside and let him go. Then Eric Weems came up and played very well as a receiver. And the guy you talked about, the quiet, unassuming Earl Bennett, the guy who's probably one of the unsung heroes for the Bears.
Yeah, I think, Jay Cutler just trusts him. And that's a guy you need to trust on third down, always knowing the coverage. There was one situation where they had miscommunication tonight, but he loves Earl Bennett. If I'm Jay Cutler, he's loving this whole receiving core right now. It's the best it's been since he's been here in Chicago, and we're talking about a quarterback that's led this team already to the NFC Championship.
All right, nice sign there, good sign of Brandon Harden raising his arm and acknowledging the crowd. And the medical staff being very, very careful.
Well, it's tough for him. He missed all last year with an injury in college. We know he's a cornerback converting to safety. Here gets really some meaningful action, and it's one play that he's out of the game. And you know he's so upset right there, but he's moving. He's got all of extremities, and
he's probably saying, I wish you wouldn't have wrapped me up like this, but that's a great sign that the hands and arms are moving. But as you saw, that head down going into the midsection of the tight end, Logan Paulson.
Well, tackling's an art form, and it's hard to get around it. And again, it goes back to a conversation, Sam, you and I had before the game with Rod Marinelli. The only way you're going to get better at it is to do it. You know, the form tackling, head up, lead with your shoulder, all the new rules that the NFL is trying to instill, but yet you can't really hit all that much during the week.
Yep.
And so it's somewhat of a lost art form. And this is really the only time players get an opportunity to work on it before the season really starts, because you're not going to beat up on your own teammates.
Right.
So this is the only time you can really work on that craft of really tackling.
And we certainly hope Brandon Harden will be okay. That's another promising young player that the Bears drafted in the 3rd round, and expecting him to be a contributor as a special teams player and as a backup safety. Redskins start from the 35-yard line with the Bears leading 27-10. And a good run by Tristan Davis, first-year man out of Auburn. He picks up 8 on the play. I mentioned Kirk Cousins. The Redskins drafting 2 quarterbacks. One, of course, RG3, Robert Griffin III, who played the first half, and then Kirk Cousins in the 4th round. I think that pick surprised a lot of people.
Well, I definitely think so. But he's a winner in college. I mentioned most wins in the Big Ten the past 3 years. And to me, he's a polished quarterback. He's used to the pro style, and check with me is that Shanahan's going to ask him to do at the line of scrimmage.
Tristan Davis falls forward for a first down. He picks up 3 up to the 47. All right, we close the book on Robert Griffin III in his 2nd preseason game. 5 for 8, 49 yards. Bears did a good job of containing him and sacked him 3 times.
Really did a nice job to contain him when he tried to roll out of the pocket. There are a lot of movement plays in Mike Shanahan's offense at RG3 that they're going to take advantage of, and much different offense how it's going to be called under a 4th-round draft pick, Kirk Cousins.
Offense, 5 yards, repeat the down.
False start on the Bears, on the Redskins, sets them back 5 yards. Okay, here's the important question. We'll see if you really know the answer to this. Did he break any of your records at Michigan State?
He's got them all.
He's got them all,
He's got them all, Sam. You look at yardage, completion percentage. This kid is a fine kid and polished and a really high-character kid.
Good play fake, stands in, puts it up deep, and it's incomplete. Intended for Aldrick Robinson, first-year man out of SMU. 6th-round draft pick last year. And the play covered by Kelvin Hayden. Bears have 2nd-string defense in with Shea McClellan and Chauncey Davis at the ends. Brian Price and Nate Collins are the tackles. Cousins throws and hits Logan Paulson, the tight end. A first down across the 40-yard line. Pickup of 19 on the play. Good throw by Cousins.
That's good timing because he hits his 5th step, and he releases it to the seam. And that's tough on Blake Costanzo at the middle backer to get there. But that's a nice tackle by Anthony Walters. He's getting in the game due to the Harden injury. Ooh, that's good form tackling right there. Wrapping up, has his head up. Nice job by Walters.
Anthony Walters and Craig Stelz are the safeties. Cousins chased by Collins and gets out of bounds inside the 35-yard line, or right at the 35. Picked up 4 on the play. Bring up a 2nd and 5. Shea McClellan, who saw some time in pass rush situations in the first half with the first team defense. He's gotten some good playing time in these first two preseason games. Stelz comes forward, showing blitz. Handoff to Davis, and a good play by Blake Costanzo. Blake Costanzo was brought in to be a leader on special teams. He was second on special teams tackles for the 49ers last season. He's doing a real good job.
Yeah, and the Bears like him. He can play all four special teams right there. So McClellan at the point of attack. You got Stelz blitzing from the backside. That's how the defensive line's able to slant at the backside. But look at Costanzo weeding through the trash. And Lovie Smith said, hey, the light bulb's going on. This guy's taking advantage of his opportunity. Now with a couple guys going down due to injury.
3 wide receivers in on 3rd and 7. The rush from McClellan, the pass incomplete.
Nice
good pressure from Shea McClellan.
That's a beautiful spin move by McClellan. You're going to see it at home in your living room. And look at this guy. He continues to impress. He's starting to turn out. Watch the spin. Bam. Oh, that is beautiful by the rookie. Compton just didn't have Tom Compton, a young draft pick. He whiffed at him. That's what we call learning a counter move. It's more than just bull rushing and using your speed. You got to develop more moves. And Shea McClellan, for a rookie, to use a spin move like that in a game, that's big.
Neil Rackers will attempt a 54-yard field goal. And the kick will be wide left. Just missed outside the upright. Rackers takes a long look. Was hoping that it might just fade in a little bit, but it stayed outside. So the Bears defense stiffens, and they maintain a 27-10 lead. Take a look at our Subway game tracker. How about these big plays by the Bears?
First play of the game, Jay Cutler and Brandon Marshall open it up by going deep down the field. Now you look at a forced fumble on RG3. Israel Donajee with the strip sack sets up the second Michael Bush touchdown of 8-yard run. That's some big plays right there for Chicago.
That's our Subway game tracker. Bears start from the 44 after the missed field goal. Jason Campbell still in and throws wide of the tight end Matt Spaeth. The offensive line still has Jamarcus Webb and Shiloh Rayshall on the left side. Edwin Williams is now the center with Ricky Henry and James Brown on the right side. Henry the guard and James Brown the tackle. Adam Rodriguez, one of our Chase players to watch, is in the game at tight end. 4th round draft pick out of Temple. As they go two tight ends line up, one in the backfield. That's Rodriguez. Matt Spaeth, the other tight end. Off the play fake. Campbell gets time and finds Rasheed Davis. He's got a first down at the Redskins' 42-yard line. 13-yard gain on the play.
Yeah, it looks like he double clutched it right here. Jason Campbell comes off the play fake. Pressure from the right, steps up. Good off-balance throw. Good off-balance throw, completes it to Rasheed Davis. That's a good job stepping up because he felt the pressure.
Khalil Bell on the carry. Good hole. And Bell down to the 37-yard line, picks up 6 on the play. Brian Keel on the stop for Washington. And the Bears come out moving the ball well with Jason Campbell.
Well, you mentioned Evan Rodriguez earlier, and they got him working at fullback right now on that last play, and that's going to be his niche role. They got to find a way. I think Mike Tice is not going to utilize a lot of fullback, but he's more of an H-back. He can do it both. Catch the ball in the backfield and learn how to block.
Khalil Bell on the carry. Gets a couple down to the 35-yard line. The wide receivers in the game now, Joe Anderson.
Like that play right there, Evan Rodriguez was the lead blocker. Wasn't pretty. He's going to have to learn to leverage blocks. Look at him right here in the backfield, leading it. It's really just a straight lead. Look at him get bent back. It's pad level. You got to get lower. He's never done it as a fullback. He's a tight end.
That's a 330-pound nose tackle he was trying to block. Chris Baker.
Lowest man wins, Sam.
Joe Anderson, Rasheed Davis are the wide receivers. Jason Campbell calls a timeout. The Bears on the move in Redskins territory, have a 27-10 lead.
Bears preseason football is sponsored by Xfinity from Comcast, Sports Authority, your local Ford stores, and Ticket Exchange.
The Chicago Bears Network presents Bears Game Night Live, brought to you by Toyota, following the final word on Fox Chicago every Sunday night during the regular season. Be sure to catch the special season preview edition Sunday, September 2nd. And then the regular season begins September the 9th. The Bears home against the Indianapolis Colts. Lots of movement on both sides of the ball. And 4 flags go flying. Jim Winterberg is the referee, the man in the white cap.
Neutral zone infraction on the defense, number 50, 5 yards. Results in a first down.
We go downstairs for an injury update to Lou Canellis on the field. Lou.
Sam, Brandon Harden suffered a neck injury. He never lost consciousness, which is good. He has full movement of his legs and arms. He was put in an ambulance and taken to a local hospital for observation. Back to you.
Thanks very much, Lou. And of course, the best news is that he does have full movement. And good job by the medical staff of the Bears. On third down, the play fake by Campbell. Goes through his progression and finds his tight end, Evan Rodriguez. Good grab by Rodriguez, and he gets a first down to the 15. He picked up 14 on the play.
This is a nice read by Jason Campbell off the play action. Look at Rodriguez come through the line of scrimmage, beats Ryan Keel. The linebacker, nice touch throw by Jason Campbell. Then he turns up the field. Comes through, checks, knows his backer's not coming so he can get out on his route. This is what he can do. He's got speed to turn it up the field.
First down, Bears at the 15-yard line. Joe Anderson and Chris Summers, the wide receivers. Campbell for Summers. He's got it at the 5. Summers almost had a touchdown in the first half. He makes this grab.
Look at the timing. Jason Campbell hits his back foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Real quick. Look at before the receiver even broke. It's just a stop route. So he turned him, and that's nice location. Puts it on his back shoulder. Easy pitch and catch for Summers.
And the Bears are in the Sports Authority red zone with a first and goal at the 5-yard line. Long, lean, undrafted rookie, Chris Summers. Tarian Crump, number 10 in the lineup. 3 wide receivers. Khalil Bell is the running back. Campbell, fade to Summers. And he couldn't hold on.
Good location. Tries to back shoulder fade him. Chris Summers is a big body. 6'5", 215. Jason, 1, 2, 3. Release it. Look at that's just great. His location. He's got to haul that in. You love that body frame, but by definition, what do we know, Sam? Receiver's got to catch it,
He's
right?
got to catch that ball.
And he knows it. He's upset at himself, and nice throw by Jason Campbell.
3 wide receivers. Matt Spaeth is the tight end. Here's Khalil Bell. Down to the 2. Bring up a third and goal for the Bears.
Go back to the run. We know Michael Bush already 2 goal line or touchdown runs earlier in the game, and trying to give Khalil Bell an opportunity here. Done a nice job up front. Going to be a much different story after this preseason game.
Michael Bush, a couple of touchdown runs in the first half. They've got big Matt Spaeth as a tight end to the right. On third and goal, Khalil Bell got close to the goal line, inside the 1, but just short.
Let's see, I think it was Keenan Robinson, linebacker, shoots it right here. Yeah, look at that's for Shiloh Rashaw. He's got to come off his block earlier. Look at Shiloh Rashaw. He's trying to double team. Now he's got to spin off to the backer. Shiloh Rashaw, that's his man, is Keenan Robinson, that inside backer. He was late coming off the block on the double team.
Yeah, Doug Worthington had penetration, and Bell never could get airborne to try and go over the top. So Robbie Gould looking for his third field goal of the game. Ball down and through. He's got a new holder in Ryan Quigley with Adam Podlesh out. Podlesh had a little trouble with that ball, but got it down. Podlesh was hurt. Quigley had trouble getting it down and in position, but Gould got it inside the upright. Here's 10 plays, 55 yards, 4 minutes 41 seconds. Robbie Gould kicking a 19-yard field goal, his third field goal of the game, and the Bears have a 30-10 lead. And that number 30 looks good when we talked about the need for points for the Bears in this tough division with Green Bay and Detroit. You want to see them putting up that kind of number.
Well, also from last week, everybody thought the sky was falling when you lose 31-3 to the Denver Broncos. Completely different story tonight for the Bears.
Terrence Austin, the return. And he breaks it outside. Kickoff coverage and punt coverage has been a problem for the Bears. Well, what time is it, Jim? It's Miller time. Jim, give us an aspect of the game that's caught your eye.
Well, I'll tell you what, how about Jay Cutler not getting hit right there? A lot of time to throw the football. Look, both sides. Now look at this protection. Off of play action. Look at that pocket. All day long to throw the ball. He could throw it down the field. One last time, this is Jason Campbell. He steps up. When you have time to shuffle twice, you got good protection up front to throw the ball down the field.
And Mike Tice has to like that. He was certainly concerned about the offensive line play against the Denver Broncos, but the offensive line has done a good job in this game.
They really have. They've really protected Jay Cutler. I think they've ran the football extremely well. I think everything Mike Tice explained to us before the game, he was not happy last week. The physicalness wasn't there. The intensity wasn't there. So he said, guys, you better strap up the chin strap this week and get it done.
And there is the offensive coordinator working with his offensive line. And the guys who've played the most, the first 7, Williams, Garza.
It's going to be a tough tape to break down. Williams versus Webb. What's going to happen there at left tackle? They both done some good things tonight.
Spencer needed a comeback game. That pass complete from Kirk Cousins to Desmond Briscoe. Second-year man. Briscoe, formerly with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, picked up on waivers by the Redskins. They've got a first down. Bears next week in the third preseason game will be at the Giants, the Super Bowl champion Giants. So that will be a good test for the Bears.
I think this week was a pretty good test for the Bears. We got Arakpo and Ryan Kerrigan. They had 16.5 sacks a year ago. They're going against a different defense in a 3-4 of what Jim Haslett runs for the Washington Redskins. So completely different. I think the mentality, the physicalness, the approach, Bears fans are now excited. They've seen the weapons, the explosiveness Mike Tice has talked about, and just things they're going to be able to do offensively.
That's Jim Haslett in his third year as defensive coordinator with the Redskins.
Hard to believe. I started out in Pittsburgh Steelers with him. Love Jimmy Haslett.
Yeah.
A lot of exotics. Does a lot of different things defensively. Pretty intense guy in his own right.
Oh, he likes to bring it. He brings the heat. Davis looking for first down. Shane McClellan makes the tackle. McClellan has gotten some good playing time. The Bears have Patrick Trahan, number 59, JT Thomas, number 97, and at linebacker. It's third and less than a yard. Craig Stelz and Anthony Walters are the safeties.
Let's see if Price and defensive tackle Nate Collins could get the push Marinelli's looking for.
Quarterback sneak by Cousins. And it looks like he's got enough for the first down. certainly key players that the Bears have wanted to look at. As we check out Mike Shanahan on the sideline, we talked about the Bears in a tough division. Well, Mike Shanahan in the division with the Super Bowl champion Giants, though the Redskins beat the Giants twice last season, Dallas and Philadelphia. And the Eagles are expecting a lot of improvement.
And you got a team that's unified behind their head coach that's going through a very difficult time in his life. They're going to be a much better team.
Almost intercepted. Outstanding defensive play by Patrick Trahan. Batted the ball up and dove and just missed the interception.
Good reaction right there. And Kirk Cousins just had the ball too low, but that's good reaction by Patrick Trahan to knock it down. Got to get it up and over those linebackers. Trahan leaping as high as he could to bat that ball away.
Bears defense has given up only 3 points in the game. A 1 touchdown for the Redskins, a 91-yard punt return. That pass complete to Aldrick Robinson, and all over him, Jonathan Wilhite, the backup cornerback. Bears have built up some nice depth at the cornerback position, with the starters Charles Tillman and Tim Jennings, Kelvin Hayden and Jonathan Wilhite brought in, and that gives them a solid foursome.
I'll tell you what, a few years ago when they signed Tim Jennings, they struck gold. He's a player who Bill Polian, the former general manager of the Colts, said he was a great player. He just had some injuries with the ankle. Same can be said for Kelvin Hayden. That comes up with a guy with a lot of starts and a lot of experience when you look at Kelvin Hayden, who'll be the third corner.
Good job by the Bears up front on the 3rd and 4. The Redskins try to run the ball, and Nate Collins stuffed it.
There's Nate Collins. He's making a case for himself right now. Rod Marinelli loves him just because he's tough and he's physical. No-nonsense guy. Way to shed the block right there up front.
And then the other aspect, after Collins slows him down, the gang tackling.
JT Thomas last week, he's a will backer. He led the team in tackles. He's got 7. His upside is pretty good for him as a run and hit guy. And now Blake Costanzo, again, making the most of his opportunity with some guys down.
On 4th and 5, the Redskins go for it. And the crowd urging on the defense. And the official from the far side comes over. Redskins call a timeout. Talk things over on 4th down. Watch Fox Chicago News at 9 weeknights with Bob Surratt and Robin Robinson. Sam Rosen, Jim Miller, Lou Canellis here in Chicago at Soldier Field. It's been a good night. The Bears have played very well. At the Giants next week, by the way, that game will be on national television on CBS. We'll be back with you for the final preseason game on Thursday, August 30th from Cleveland. And the Browns played very well at Green Bay earlier this week.
Yeah, they did.
Brandon Whedon looked good.
And they've got some injuries at their fight right now as well. And I thought it was a very good showing for that group and what Mike Holmgren and, of course, Pat Shurmur has going as the head coach for the Cleveland Browns. They're a young, up-and-coming team.
There's 4th and 5. 3 wide receivers for the Redskins. Cousins, the pass broken up. A flag on the play. Oh, are they going to call Wilhite? He reached in, he batted the ball away. He can't understand the call. Let's see what it is.
Pass interference. Defense, number 27. Penalty enforced from the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Let's see.
Oh, he's man-to-man on the outside. It's in front of 5 yards. That suspect, it's the one, he's playing the ball, and 2, it wasn't 5 yards. You can do that within the 5-yard box. So now that's the second pass interference I got a problem with. Tillman.
Lovie Smith, not too sure about that call.
It's within 5 yards. That's the rules.
Tristan Davis on the carry for the Redskins, who retain possession as a result of the interference call.
Now, since I'm new to this, Sam, that's where everybody calls me a homer, right? Is that what it is?
No, I mean, you know what? You've got to give your opinion. You see it. You've been out there.
Well, the rule is 5 yards.
Yeah. No,
and that was within 5 yards.
Contact, sure.
That's right.
And again, There have been a couple of questionable calls tonight. Pressure on Cousins, and the pass completed to Niles Paul. Brought down by J.T. Thomas. And the Bears coaches certainly hoping that J.T. Thomas getting a chance to play here, his first significant playing time. He injured last season.
He can run. He's got some athleticism now, and another young player, linebacker that the Bears like. Well, here's what I think was we've only seen 3 rollouts with Kirk Cousins. Different play calling by Mike Shanahan. Now these guys are playing more of a pocket passer. Look at how the Bears are adjusting to this.
On 3rd and 6, Cousins throws and completes it for a first down to Niles Paul. So the former wide receiver converted to tight end on the receiving end of a couple of passes to bring up a Redskins first down. We've reached the end of the 3rd quarter, and the Bears have a 30-10 lead. Sam Rosen, Jim Miller, Luke Canellas back at Soldier Field in Chicago. The Bears with a 30-10 lead as we get set to start the 4th quarter. Crowd has had a good time here. Good weekend here in Chicago. The air show is in. Jets flying overhead. Parachutes landing.
Jay Cutler throwing balls down the field to Brandon Marshall. That's the air show these fans came to see.
Good night for the new daddy, Jay Cutler.
He's got to feel good. He's got to feel good. Year off, come back to have that strong of a performance, and he wanted to play well. You want to. You love that at home in front of the fans, Sam. Good for him.
Tristan Davis getting outside. It's down to the 16-yard line. He picked up 5 on the play. Absolutely, he knows the weapons he had, and Mike Tice, to his credit, wanted to get him some good action. They came out throwing the football.
And I think that they wanted to do it last week, but like you mentioned, with the birth of his young son, and for him to come out and put forth a good showing, give the fans an idea of what you can expect out of this Chicago Bears offense. Crisp blocking, good run blocking, play action pass, and how about the throws? Yeah. How he led, very accurate with the football.
Blitz coming, they go the other way with Davis. Try to turn the corner and only picked up a yard because of a good play by J.T. Thomas and Blake Costanzo.
That J.T. Thomas can run. Look at the hustle. Again, Rod Marinelli talked about, look at all the blue shirts. Look at Costanzo. Man, out of nowhere, flying to the football. Middle backer, you didn't know any better. You thought that was 54 there for a second.
Let's give a little credit to Thaddeus Gibson, the defensive end who's in the game. Ohio State man who was with Houston before the Bears picked him up. Cousins throws outside and completes it to Robinson. Aldrick Robinson down close to the 5-yard line. He picks up 9 on the play, and that's a first down for the Redskins. So Cousins has done a nice job.
Yeah, look at the route on the outside, and it drives Jonathan Wilhite. Just gets too deep, and that's, you got to threaten the cornerback that you're taking the fade route, and that's exactly what he did. Allows it to free up on the hitch route outside for Cousins to complete it.
Cousins 7 of 10. Blake Costanzo, they're checking out his right leg. But there's smiles in there. That's a good sign. Time for our United Fly Around the League. Let's check out the NFC North. Matthew Stafford, 12 for 17, 2 touchdowns in the Lions game against Baltimore last night. Adrian Peterson activated off the PUP list. That's physically unable to perform list. And the Packers signed the former Bears first-round pick Cedric Benson. Blake Costanzo went off under his own power. Looked like a cramp. Cousins throws. Touchdown, Redskins. Niles Paul, as we mentioned, second-year man. They converted him from wide receiver. He can catch the ball, and he got open.
Yeah, and you're going to see right here, Kirk Cousins. He's done this many times at Michigan State. It's a naked bootleg. You fake the outside zone run. Niles Paul dragging across in front of the safety, Anthony Walters. One you need contain again from the defensive end on the backside, and then Anthony Walters gets beat by the crossing route by Niles Paul.
Graham Cano will kick the extra point. Bears defense giving up the first touchdown of the game. 15-play drive for the Washington Redskins. Finished off on the pass from Kirk Cousins. The Michigan State man finds Niles Paul, the Nebraska man. 15 plays, nearly 8 minutes. That you don't like to see as far as the Bears are concerned. 68 yards and the touchdown pass from Kirk Cousins to Niles Paul. Kirk Cousins has looked good. I don't know what the Redskins are thinking as far as Rex Grossman, where he fits in. Kirk Cousins, 4th-round draft pick. I mean, it all belongs to Robert Griffin III, but Cousins did a nice job on that drive. Kickoff to Greg McCoy, who backs up 8 yards deep and brings it out. And runs into a crowd short of the 20, bounces outside. Being chased and brought down. Good effort by Greg McCoy. Tristan Davis, the running back, finally brought him down. And don't forget, the Bears will play the Giants at the Meadowlands on CBS next week, next Friday night, and then we'll be back with you Thursday, August 30th at 6:30 Central Time from Cleveland. It's the Bears and the Browns, brought to you by North Shore University Health System. Josh McCown's in the game. And the Bears start from the 12. And no gain on the play. Jason Campbell, 9 for 15, 141 yards, was sacked 3 times. Thoughts on Jason Campbell's performance?
I thought really 2 sacks. I think he could have thrown the ball away, and but I think one, he's a good decision maker. He's a good leader. We saw him audible on one play to Eric Weems that set up a score right before the half. I think he's a very accomplished quarterback that can win a lot of games, and certainly is a leader. So I think he had a fine night, just like him to throw the ball away on 2 other occasions.
McCown completing to Terrian Crump up at the 18-yard line, a pickup of 6 on the play. Crump, the rookie out of Western Illinois, and McCown checking his hand on his follow-through. It seemed like he hit the helmet.
Those are the dangerous ones right there. That's how you fracture a hand, and I've done it many a times. It does not feel good. And that was Ricky Henry, hits his right guard, and he came down hard. Your follow-through is where you really snap it. That's a very vulnerable position right there. Looks like he can shake it off here.
3rd and 4. McCown stands in, throws outside, and the pass is broken up. Intended for Britton Golden. And defensively, good play by Richard Crawford, the rookie 7th-round draft pick out of SMU. 3 and out for the Bears.
The ball had a little wobble on it. You see McCown talking to the trainer, Bobby Slater, says he'll be all right, but it had a little wobble on it, so affected him maybe a little bit on that throw.
Oh, he wants to play. He wants some action. Don't take me out. I need some playing time. Ryan Quigley is in to punt. If you joined us late, Adam Podlish seemed to injure a hip as he tried to chase down Brandon Banks on a punt return. Nice coverage by the Bears. 39-yard punt. Casey Asiodu, backup linebacker, with a tackle. Quigley comes to the sideline. And right now it's time for our University of Phoenix game-changing moment. It happened on the first play of the second half. Lorenzo Booker on the kickoff return.
I'll tell you what, I think that's a player making a play. It looked like it was supposed to be a return left. He goes right, makes 3 guys miss. Then you take it to the house.
Nothing better, 105 yards on the return. Our University of Phoenix game-changing moment. Bears have a 30-17 lead. And the Redskins start from the 43-yard line. Kirk Cousins, the quarterback. Antoine Bailey on the carry. And Lou is downstairs with the Bears' #1 quarterback.
All right, thanks very much, Sam. First time you played a game since, November 20th. How did it feel out there?
It was good. I got in and out of the huddle, made some plays. It was good just to get out there and shake off a little bit of rust from not playing last week, and I thought the guys did a good job. We're not exactly where we want to be, but we took a step in the right direction.
What were you most impressed with what the offense did tonight?
We protected well, and that's where it all starts. I think that was our main focus from last week to this week, is being able to protect and just getting an attitude up front.
Brandon Marshall, you hook up first play, 41 yards. Who called it, you and Brandon or Tice?
He gives us a lot of flexibility. So whenever we see one-on-one out there, we're going to take some advantage of it.
You look back at history, Jay, and Brandon's been a multiple-time Pro Bowler, but his two best seasons were with you in Denver. What is it about the connection?
I probably throw him the ball more than anybody else. I'm going to give him shots. I know what he can do. We're on the same page. He made a few adjustments out there, and I found him. And I just trust him out there, and that's big with a quarterback and receiver.
How did it feel playing against your former coach Mike Shanahan across the way?
It was good. They blitz a lot. I told him before the game, this is preseason. We need to calm down. But he's got his rookie quarterback that he's molding. So we're just the best team.
I know you're a new father. Congratulations. Have you been able to sleep?
I've been at camp, so Kristen's been the one dealing with it. So now that I'm back at home, I'm sure my responsibilities are gonna go up a little bit.
Thanks, Jay. Congrats again.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead.
Thanks, Lou. Congratulations to Jay Cutler, and thanks for joining us. Meanwhile, the Redskins hook up on a pass from Kirk Cousins to Aldrick Robinson on a 49-yard touchdown.
Jonathan Woolhite in coverage on the outside. It's off of play action again. The receiver sells it deep. That's twice that's happened to Jonathan Woolhite. Then it's just speed. How about Robinson turning the corner right there? But again, it's timing. Kirk Cousins, let's put it this way. I hate quarterback controversies, but after how he's played so far, people are going to say that.
Wow. The game closing up as Aldrick Robinson is happy. So is Kirk Cousins. And the Bears' lead is down to 6, 30-24. The Bears' 20-point lead has been cut to 6, just under 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And the Redskins set to kick off. Greg McCoy is back deep for the Bears. Neil Rackers will kick it off for the Redskins. Strong kick. McCoy from 5 yards deep. And he is wrapped up as he falls forward to the 20-yard line. The Chicago Bears Network presents head coach Lovie Smith on the Bears Insider Radio Show, brought to you by McDonald's. The series airs Monday nights at 7 p.m. beginning August 27th on WBBM News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM. Josh McCown stays in at quarterback. Joe Anderson and Terrion Crump are the wide receivers. Evan Rodriguez is one tight end. Brandon Benson the other. Khalil Bell bounced off the pile and turned it into a nice gain. Give him 10 yards.
I just think it's a good read. Again, Evan Rodriguez is going to have to learn how to leverage block. You look at him get pushed in the backfield again. And Khalil Bell, he had nowhere to go because Rodriguez got pushed so far back. It's hard because these are things he really hasn't done a lot in college.
Right.
A lot to learn what shoulder to use, the angles to be a leverage blocker. And plus, he's got to get a lot bigger. Let's be honest, he's got to hit the weight room. 4th-round pick who can run, but needs to learn some of the tools of the trade.
There's an excellent receiver. We know that.
Yeah, he can catch a ball now.
McCown lofts it and throws it away in the vicinity of Terrion Crump, who is well covered.
That's tough because it looked like a buzz coverage by the linebacker, Rob Jackson. And you're trying to hit the hitch route on the outside, and the backer that's exactly what it does. He buzzes underneath. That's why it's called a buzz coverage. That's difficult to complete that.
James Brown is now the left tackle. You see the blue line, that's the line of scrimmage. The yellow line is the line to gain. It's brought to you by Lexus. Nice cutback by Bell. And he picks up a couple of yards, give him 3. up to the 33-yard line. And once again, the Bears using a lot of players. Corey Brandon, number 76, in at right tackle. You mentioned James Brown, the left tackle.
Peischel, I think, is in at right guard right now, getting an opportunity.
Edwin Williams is the center. Shiloh Rachel is getting a lot of playing time. He's still in at left guard. He played some of the first string offense in the first half. 3rd and 6. McCown being blitzed. And down he goes as he was hit by Richard Crawford. Crawford making an impressive statement. McCown gets up shaking his hand again. This time the other hand.
It's tough because you're trying to call a screenplay into a blitz, and they can be big plays, but the timing's got to marry up. If when you look at Josh McCown, just a quarterback coaching point, if you're going to retreat to the side of where the screen's going to be thrown, meaning screen left, because the blitz was coming from the right. So retreat to that side, then you can dump it off to the back. Really smart for him to throw it away and not take a sack, but do your best you can to make a play and retreat away from where the blitzer's coming from.
Ryan Quigley with a good high kick, waving for a fair catch is Richard Crawford. And he takes it at the 23-yard line. 43-yard punt, a good one for Ryan Quigley. Let's go down to the field. Lou Canellis is with Israel Adonijah. Lou.
All right, Sam, I'm alongside the defensive player of the game for the Bears, 2.5 sacks. What happened out there?
I mean, typically from the first to the second preseason game, you want to take some steps in the right direction, and as a defense, we did that. We did some good things, and still some work to be done, but a good day all in all.
You personally, 5 sacks last year. I know you weren't happy with that. You felt you were real close to another 5 last season. What did you do during the offseason? Why do you think you'll be better at getting to the quarterback this year?
Just put in some work and understanding what I Robbie Gold, ladies and gentlemen, what I had to do to make that next step, and was close to making a lot of good plays, and so focused on dropping weight and just getting healthy, taking care of the body, and just last year I was banged up for a major part of the season, so just getting healthy and just refocusing and just doing what we do, getting back to work.
When the team goes into the nickel defenses, you've been moving inside, gives Shea McClellan a chance to play at the end. Tell me why this defense will be better this season than last year's.
It's another year we're focused on just fine-tuning some of those things that we did really well last year, and just I think also you add our offense to that, the ability for them to extend plays and control the tempo of the game. That's going to make us a lot better just as a team and as a defense as well.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Sam, back to you.
Thanks, Lou. Thanks to Israel Adonijah. The Bears force a turnover. The running back went airborne. That was Antoine Bailey. The ball pops loose, and everybody's diving. Looks like John McCargo, number 70, the big defensive tackle, pulled that ball underneath him.
Yeah, they're having, obviously, the awareness to know everybody's screaming, ball, ball, ball. You got to find it. John McCargo, this is a first-round draft pick of the Buffalo Bills about 5 years ago, and he's getting an opportunity here to show his worth for the Bears as well.
So with the Redskins trying to mount a drive to possibly take the lead, the Bears defense comes up with their second turnover of the game. And Khalil Bell carries to the 45-yard line. As we mentioned, Bell trying to hold on to his spot on the roster. He's a good special teams man. Has run the ball well in the past, has fumbled a couple of times. I think that's always a concern.
Well, I think right now this is an important situation right here. You got to run the clock out. It's 30-24. This is where you got to run your 4-minute offense and really hammer the defense, running the football and get at least minimum 1 first down.
McCown puts it up deep, but it's out of bounds, intended for Chris Summers. And there's a late flag on the play. That's David Jones, the man who was covering on the play.
Pass interference. Defense, number 25. Penalty enforced from the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Taking a shot on the outside again. It's rolled up coverage. Really the same play Brandon Marshall hit on the first play down the field. And Summer using his big body again.
I don't know. Was he out of bounds similar to that other play?
Similar. It's the angle of the defensive backs. It's almost the same call on Charles Tillman earlier in the first half. They have every right to that angle of the real estate. I mean,
all right.
There he pushes a little bit.
Was
right
the ball
there.
in the air when he pushed him?
Yeah, ball was in the air. So I see that right there. I see the push there.
At the 25, Bell carrying. So now the Bears get into scoring position with the benefit of the 18-yard penalty against the Redskins.
What I mean here is Mike Tice, finish. Put the team away. You've got them on the ropes, 30-24, 6:06 left on the clock. Offensive line, you got to finish it. You got to score. Let's end this thing. Happens all the time in games. Got to do it in preseason as well.
As the coaches tell us, and we talk about it all the time, the final score doesn't mean much to them other than just have a feel good about the game. The Bears have been leading all the way. They want to feel good about getting out of this game with a win. On the fake by McCown, he stops, he's hit, and he's sacked.
Here goes back to the call right here on David Jones. They're using the cutoff rule, that David Jones cut off the receiver. I still think there's contact by David Jones right there with a forearm down the field on Summers, the receiver for the Chicago Bears, but that's what the officials are calling the cutoff rule.
Loss of 13 on that sack. Delvin Johnson with a sack for Washington, the Redskins' fourth sack of the game. Jay Cutler was not sacked while he was in the game, playing 24 snaps in a period and a half. Play clock,
Play
read
game.
0.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
So a sack and a delay of game penalty have taken the Redskins out of field goal range.
Just when I said Mike Tice wants to finish it, now he's pulling his hair out on the sideline. Get a sack, delay a game.
Evan Rodriguez, the tight end, who's off into the slot. Joe Anderson and Chris Summers are the other wide receivers. Summers with a good grab, looking for some more room. Down at the 12-yard line, the ball bounces loose, and it's going to be ruled a fumble. I thought he was down on the play, but they ruled it a fumble.
We'll have to see the replay. Nice throw by Josh McCown, but I think Reed Dowdy, the safety, and Summers should know in practicing with the Bears, they're always swiping at the football. Watch Reed Dowdy coming from the backside. Good in cut. He catches it, tuck and run. Dowdy, bam.
Oop. That ball may have come out on that hit. Let's see, we'll get a good angle here. And the ball's out. Yeah, that's the right call. It's Brandon Thompson. That forced the fumble. Brandon Thompson on the recovery. Reed Dowdy forced the fumble. Thompson the recovery, and the Redskins on the completion to Niles Paul. We go downstairs, lose on the sideline with two touchdown man, Michael Bush.
Tell me, how did it feel to get into the end zone not once but twice?
It felt good, Too bad it's not the first game of the year, but it felt good, getting the rhythm and getting going. So offense did a great job.
I'm sure the second time felt better because you've told us before that you're the short yardage back, but you don't like being the battered ram all the time.
I only use that if I have to. So, if I got to run somebody over, I had to. But in that situation, I had to make a guy miss to get where I needed to go, and that's what I did.
Tell me, you're new to town. You've been playing with Matt Forte during training camp. How's the adjustment been from Oakland?
Oh, it's fine. Just still getting used to the guys, still trying to get everybody's name down, and, just going to work with them every day. And the relationship is coming along, you can see, like it's newlyweds, I guess is what you want to call it. But other than that, we're good.
Congratulations on the nice effort.
All right, thank you.
All right, Michael Bush. Sammy?
Thanks, Lou. Thanks to Michael Bush. 2 touchdowns in the game. Redskins with Tristan Davis carrying, getting up to the 38-yard line, trying to put something together in the closing minutes. The Bears have led all the way, 1.17-0. And then here in the second half, 30-10. But the Redskins are within 6. And Kirk Cousins, the 4th-round draft pick out of Michigan State, has played very, very well. 12 of 15 and has hit his last 9. Some pressure and a diving attempt and grab by Aldrick Robinson. And Robinson has played very well.
He's done a nice job. Watch Kirk Cousins sit in the pocket on the blitz. Bears bring it from the outside, and John McCargo also hits him. But Cornelius Brown, he's the blitzer, sits in the pocket, delivers a strike on the outside.
Isaiah Fry is at the left corner. Greg McCoy, the right corner. 5 defensive backs in. That pass broken up. Good effort on the play by Jabara Williams. And a flag. We had something going on between the players. And a flag is thrown. Got a lot of flags in this game.
Oh, preseason. Got to
Dead ball,
tighten up.
unnecessary roughness. Number 93, Chicago. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's one the coaches will really be upset with.
Getting a little chippy. It's the dumb penalties. That's a big one right there. Can cost your football team. Hidden yardage, all those things, because you can't control your temper. I've said this all the time, Sam. If you're having a problem and you're getting in the face of another guy, you're mouthing and jabbing back and forth, you got that clock right up there. I'll see you in 45 seconds, buddy. We'll settle it on the next play. That's how you have to approach it.
Ball's now at the 37-yard line with 2:17 remaining, and the Bears with a 6-point lead. Gibson remains in the game. Chedo Zukwu, the other defensive end. The blitz was on. Good pass by Cousins as he completes it to Desmond Briscoe down to the Bears 20, a 17-yard pickup. And there's an injured player for the Bears down on the field. Jabara Williams, the linebacker, is shaken up. Bears have had a couple of injuries in this game. Safety Chris Conte went out injured. Brandon Harden, the rookie safety, was carted off the field. And right here, and then Adam Podlesh, the punter, came up with a hip injury.
And we've seen a couple of, obviously the safeties that you mentioned were injured earlier in the game, and obviously with Conte and Harden is who I'm specifically talking about. And let's face it, they're banged up at linebacker right now. Let's see if Williams is okay. He's walking off the field. And it looks like on the replay, taken out by some friendly fire right there, his own teammate.
Jeremy Jones, the safety, with the hit, and he caught Williams in the midsection. Maybe just knocked the wind out of him.
Yeah, you hope that's the case. But hey, Dom DeSico's out. Urlacher, we know they're dealing with that injury, so they can't afford. They're getting thin at the position. They need all bodies on deck right now for the Bears. Good to see he looks like he's shaking it off in Jabara Williams.
Casey Asiodu is in the game. Bears picked him up on waivers previously with Green Bay. Cousins throwing. He's got a man. Touchdown Redskins. Desmond Briscoe with a grab. There's a flag down at the 25-yard line. This play may be called back. But Cousins has been very impressive, Michigan State man.
Well, obviously everybody knows I cover Michigan State games
Personal
for radio.
Foul. Roughing the passer, number 76. Touchdown is good. Penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
And people thought I was crazy when this kid came out, Sam, because here's what I know about Kirk Cousins. He can audible. He can pocket pass. He's won the most games in the last 3 years in the Big Ten. And he is a sharp quarterback.
Ozugwu The defensive end called for the personal foul. That'll be marked off on the kickoff. But right here, the Redskins, with 3 consecutive touchdowns, are about to take the lead for the first time in the game. Graham Cano, and the Redskins lead it. And some happy faces on the Redskins side as they lead it 31-30 with just over 2 minutes remaining. Watch Good Day Chicago weekday mornings. We have what Chicago is talking about. Bears had the big lead, 30-20, earlier in the second half. But the Redskins, with all the reserves in on both sides, have scored 3 touchdowns to take the lead. Let's see what the Bears come up with in the final 2 minutes.
Well, it's finish, it's conditioning, all those things. Everybody can say, oh, it's junk yardage. Hey, the Bears were blitzing. They played some zone coverage. They mixed it all in there defensively, but I think it's about finish and conditioning. Now we'll see what their 2-minute offense can do in this situation. We'll see if Matt Blanchard gets an opportunity. Maybe he's entering the game, see what he can do from Wisconsin Whitewater.
Well, this is a chance for the players to get playing time under conditions, game-type conditions, which will help some down the road. For others, this is their time to show what they have, because they may not be on the Bears or the Redskins, but somebody else might need them down the road.
Yeah, I think this is interesting. And here we'll see the kickoff here, but I do think Matt Blanchard, the third-string quarterback, or actually fourth-string quarterback, is going to get in the game. I think Phil Emery, the general manager, they want to see what he can do in a big spot.
Okay. Well, with the 15-yard mark off, that's easily kicked through the end zone by Graham Gano.
See, here's the deal. You know what? How Jay Cutler can run a 2-minute drill. You know Jason Campbell can run a 2-minute drill. Well, Josh McCown, he's 10 years in the league. You know he can run a 2-minute drill. What about Matt Blanchard? Let's find out right now when the game's on the line.
The rookie, undrafted free agent out of Wisconsin Whitewater, came to rookie camp on a tryout and impressed the coaches. Never lost a game in college, 45-0. Works out of the shotgun with 3 wide receivers. Blanchard stays in, throws outside, completes it to Joe Anderson. And Anderson had brought down at the 25-yard line. 1:54 to go in the fourth quarter. We've reached the 2-minute warning. The Bears are trailing 31-30. With 1:54 remaining, they gave the Bears 7 yards on that first down pass from Matt Blanchard to Joe Anderson. All right, what do you think?
I think, there's plenty of time. He's got 2 timeouts. Second in a very manageable situation for Matt Blanchard. And I think he showed up in this spot. This is what Phil Emery, the general manager, loved about this young man at Wisconsin Whitewater. He plays big when the moment matters, and we'll see if he can do it again this week.
Britton Golden, number 82, is the slot receiver. Terrian Crump is also in at wide receiver. Pressure on Blanchard, and he rolls. And the pass blocked. It's Brian Keel, fifth-year linebacker, who blocked the throw.
I think the main thing, especially in this drill, one, if you just throw it away, one, you can't take a sack, and two, you're obviously worried in that situation. You can't throw a pick. I mean, for him, the smarter play, just throw it away and play for third and medium. Still ends up in that situation, made it a little bit more exciting than what it needed to be.
3rd and 3 for Matt Blanchard and the Bears. Pressure up the middle, the pass caught by the tight end, Evan Rodriguez. And he's got a first down across the 40-yard line. Picked up 15. Well done by Blanchard. No huddle by the Bears.
Good ball location. Boys, here comes the blitz. Sits in there nice.
Puts it up deep, but Britton Golden didn't see it coming. It was thrown wide of Golden, and the clock stops. Be 2nd and 10 for the Bears. Need about 20 yards. 23 yards maybe for a field goal try for Robbie Gould.
I think, yeah, the main thing, it's 1 minute and 20 minutes, or 1:20 left on the clock. He's got a lot of time right now. Empty set, so it's 5-on-5 blocking.
Blanchard stands in. Pass for Terrian Crump was dropped. Just a little behind him.
Just trying to get the easy, quick hitter. This is twice for Crump. If you remember last week, I mentioned he had to cross the receivers or cross the DB's face. Again, he's got to come flat to the quarterback. That's hanging the quarterback out to dry right there. That's 2 weeks in a row. That's not going to help his case right there.
There's 3rd and 10 for Blanchard. He keeps Armando Allen, the running back, in the backfield. Blitz coming. And the pass is caught by Evan Rodriguez. And he's down inside the 40 at the 38, 20-yard pickup and a first down for the Bears. Bears have 2 timeouts remaining with under a minute to go.
Look at him, he's poised, he's relaxed, he signals receivers. You got to have ice water in your veins. That's what Matt Blanchard's showing right now.
Pressure, the blitz coming, and the pass too high. Intended for Joe Anderson. Robbie Gould, just a few more yards could put him in position for the field goal. Right now, it would be about a 56 or 57-yard try.
And that right now, you still have 2 timeouts. There's plenty of time. Normally you'd like to wait, I'd say 45 seconds is normally the cutoff rule for the second timeout. So he's within that range right now when you look at Matt Blanchard.
There comes the blitz again. And this pass is dropped. It almost intercepted by Brian Keel, who was thrown behind Joe Anderson.
Very lucky on this throw right here for Matt Blanchard. He's got the blitz coming. He didn't see it at all. Ball might have got tipped, but it's still double coverage. Very dangerous throw for Matt Blanchard. But here's the deal. Jeremy Bates is talking to him from the sideline. They're telling Matt Blanchard right now, all right, we need to get to the 30-yard line. We feel that's Robbie Gould's range right now.
Yeah.
Or if they elect to go with Ryan Quigley to see if he can kick the ball from that range.
Needs 7 or 8 more yards to set up Robbie Gould. Here comes the blitz again. He's hit, and it's incomplete. Richard Crawford, again, he has showed up for the Redskins, the 7th-round draft pick out of SMU.
That's twice for Matt Blanchard. He missed the strong side blitz, but I mentioned they're going to give him a shot right here. It's a long field goal. Could come down to this right here.
Robbie Gould, a 57-yard try. Ryan Quigley, the holder. Patrick Manley is the long snapper. He's got to put all the leg into this one. Low snap, the ball on the way. Does it have the distance? It does! It's good!
That was a 1-iron right there, Sam. He drove it.
Bears special teams come through. Robbie Gould, 57-yarder, Bears lead.
Normally this range, it's been a struggle for him. I believe he missed 2 over 50-yard field goals a year ago for the Bears, but look at this one. New holder and everything, and he drives it. Get low, you can't get the height on it. You're worried about it getting blocked. Just enough to cross the crossbar. Look at that. He's got to be fired up.
Oh,
that body lean always helps. Doesn't the body lean always work? Whether you're
a lot of smiles on the bench. Outstanding.
And Blanchard did. He managed a 2-minute drive. Your goal is to get it in field goal range.
Did a good job.
Like to get a little closer. He made it interesting.
And the Redskins were bringing the blitz every play. They were bringing 5 and 6. Robbie Gould 4 for 4 in the game. 45, 28, 18, and 57 yards. And let's not forget his normal holder. Adam Podlesh not in the game. Ryan Quigley was the holder, and they got it done. 31 seconds remaining. Gold line drive kick. Aldrich Robinson from 1 yard away. And being chased down, Isaiah Fry was there. And then the rest of the special teams coverage units able to bring him down. So now it's the Redskins with one timeout, 24 seconds on the clock. Jay Cutler, his work was done a long time ago. Kirk Cousins has been outstanding for the Redskins. 15 of 19, 216 yards and 3 touchdowns. Bears safeties are backed up 25 yards. Throwing short to Robinson. He's got good speed. Bears able to bring him down. Tackled by Ronnie Thornton. No huddle. Final seconds. And they spike the ball to stop the clock with 6 seconds remaining. Surprised they didn't call the timeout right after the catch. But one play left for Kirk Cousins and the Redskins. Bears on national TV next Friday night from East Rutherford, New Jersey against the Super Bowl champion Giants. We'll be back with you Thursday, August 30th at 6:30 Central Time from Cleveland. Cousins' pass is caught, and that's your ball game. The Bears have a preseason win. The Bears on the Robbie Gould 57-yard field goal. Let's see. Do we have a flag? There was a timeout called with 1 second. Our Miller Lite player of the game now we're giving him the game-winning field goal, presuming we won't see a Hail Mary for a touchdown. So we're giving him a game-winning 57-yard field goal to win it for the Bears. The Redskins are 66 yards away with 1 second officially remaining on the clock. And they go screen pass. And here comes Tristan Davis. And he's shoved out of bounds by Isaiah Fry. And now it's officially over. The Bears are 1-1 in preseason. Robbie Gould with a 57-yard field goal to win it for the Bears, 33-31. The Bears moved into position by fourth-string quarterback Matt Blanchard, and Gould kicks it through. Good night for the first team on both sides of the football. Bears win it 33-31. We'll see you Thursday night from Cleveland, August 30th. For Jim Miller and Lou Canelis, this is Sam Rosen. So long, everyone.